Hey everyone, and welcome to what is the 17th episode of the MicroPod. We're finally on air again. Poor old Sherman's having problems with his Hangouts, but we will get to the bottom of it at some point. I hope. How can the cool man have internet issues? You ask, but who knows? It's one of those things. Even E-Rock has them. But yeah, we're a week late. We should have been back last week, but we had some issues, and I had some internet issues, and had to deal with them. Ended up having to rip all my floorboards out and put new cabling in because I was having real problems. And there you go.
So
break it to the wife.
the hole is still in the front room ceiling. She hasn't noticed it. I haven't filled it yet, so I won't bring that up.
Sounds like somebody's going to be making some extra cash.
Wow, yeah, I'm gonna have to try. I think definitely.
I'm talking about me. We're talking about blackmail.
If she's watching this, I'm screwed already.
It'd just be a case of don't look there. There's nothing to see here.
Move along. Anyway, we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. I'm sure it's going to be the usual antics and fun. It's a competition. We've got money on to see whether Andy Mack, the man, the beard with legs, can actually make it through the podcast without getting paralytic this week. But we should see.
Wait, no, that was after the podcast.
No, it wasn't. It was. At the end.
I got totally shit-faced after the podcast. Right, I get this. Right, I fell asleep upstairs. Right, and I thought there was a pigeon on the conservatory. Right, but it was the dog that fallen asleep in the wardrobe and she kept moving. I was like, what the fuck's that?
Your dog fell asleep in the wardrobe?
Yeah.
What are you doing with your dog in the wardrobe?
I left the wardrobe open. That's what happened.
Jeez. Well, I can honestly say the more pissed you get, the more you talk, and you were getting quite tipsy towards the end of the last show. To the point, ladies and gentlemen, actually, when we finished the podcast, we were then caught on FaceTime for another 30 minutes whilst he ranted on in his pissed up manner for another 30 minutes with myself and Sherman.
It was hilarious. Don't leave Hebot out.
Oh, Hebot as well. Yes, Hebot as well.
Remember, Hebot went into roving reporter mode.
He did.
He was at Toys R Us. Was it? I think it was Toys R Us.
Like that, wasn't it? Walmart. It was Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart, right. Yeah. It was hilarious. It was so funny. We had a good time. It was, what it reminded me of? It actually kind of reminded me of, say, an after show. So, you know how they do certain TV shows have their behind the scenes after party thing after the episode is over. And that's what it reminded me of. I was thinking to myself, wow, maybe we should be recording this.
Yeah, it would have been great it would have been great bonuses for the DVD when it comes out. That's all I can say. Anyway, let's get on with this. We've got a special guest on the show tonight. We've got Thom Wilde on from Respawn Gaming. They kindly had me on their podcast a few weeks ago, so I thought I'd return the favour. He's predominantly a PlayStation gamer, but we've allowed room for him onto the show tonight because, we're all gamers, and he's a great guy and he does a great channel. And, I'm sorry, Tom, I've completely forgotten the name of the other guy that you do the show with.
It's fine. It's Mark Linton.
Mark. That's it, Mark. And so between the two of them, they do Respawn Gaming, and Mark's an Xbox guy, Tom's a PlayStation guy, and between the two of them, they've got a great channel going. So I will put a link down below, so make sure you go and check out Respawn Gaming. They deserve all the support and as many subscribers as, because it's a great channel. So it's great to have you on the show, and hopefully we can help sort of get you out there a bit more and get you some more support.
Well, I know Mark would agree with me, and we greatly appreciate it. And we greatly appreciate you coming onto our podcast the other week, as well as next week you're going to be a guest, as well as Andy as well. So we look forward to having you back. I'm looking forward to doing this show. And of course, I know I may be a PlayStation gamer, and this is predominantly Xbox. However, I am not one of those fanboys, so you don't have to grab your torches and pitchforks.
No, we just do that for you, Rock.
I'm going to put mine away now then.
Anyway, it's fantastic to have you on the show. It really is. And then over to let's go to the beard with legs. You can see in there that leg with the beard on the end there. Oh, that picture that Bo in the Welsh Gamer did for you is absolutely brilliant. Andy Mac, mate, introduce yourself. Give yourself a shout out.
All right, guys, it's Andy Mac. Tonight, actually, I'm going to talk about my profile picture because some few of the guys from Instagram, one of them said that I look. It says you look Latino, and somebody else goes, "Hang on a minute, I'm getting an echo on my side."
He's not getting an echo now. He's gone completely.
Wow.
We did want to hear him anyway. He's probably pissed in at the escape button. That's probably what's happened. Well, whilst we're waiting for him to come back, I'll pass it on to eRockX. Give yourself a shout out, mate. And how you doing? It's been a while. We haven't spoken for a few weeks. Nope. eRock's not there either.
Oh dear.
It's going well.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate.
Now, you know, I'm looking and I see the mute icons on Hebots and no,
eRock. eRock's not got a mute.
Right.
But, oh well, hopefully he'll sort his issues out anyway. Andy's back now, so he can finish introducing himself.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong X. I've got YouTube running, and I turned Hangouts off. Oops.
I knew it. What did I say? I said he's got pissed and hit the wrong button. You come back and then say you hit the wrong button. And what can I say?
No, I'm not pissed because my rum's too cold and I don't like cold rum. But yeah, someone said I looked Latino in the picture, right? And somebody says, "You do, man. You're an honorary Latino." So this week, I'm Andy Latino Mac. Latino Mac.
Andy Latino Mac.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sounds like a porno.
Fantastic.
Oh dear me. Anyway, we're gonna pass it over now to the man, the cool man, the Shermanator. How you doing, buddy? What you been up to?
Welcome to all of our listeners, and it's a pleasure to be with you all once again. We missed last week, but we're gonna do our best to make it up to you guys this week. We got a lot of good topics on tap, so welcome to the show, and hope you have a great time listening as we plan on having a ball presenting it to you. That's all I'm going to say for now. I've got a lot stored up, so
oh my god!
Let's get this party started.
And he's here. He's joined us. Great to have him on again. Hebot, are you there, buddy?
I'm looking at the mute icons again.
Yeah.
In fact, that's everybody.
That's everybody. But
I'll use mine out politeness so everyone can speak.
eRock, are you there, mate?
Hello.
How you doing? We couldn't hear you to start off with. How you doing, mate? Give yourself a shout out and introduce yourself and tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey guys, this is eRockX, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand, and the meanest man on Twitter. Check me out. It's eRockX at Twitter. And as always, man, the YouTube channel, like, hate, or subscribe. And it's great to be back here again to talk about these scintillating topics with four of the most entertaining gentlemen, or is it five? I can't see on this phone. 5 or 6 gentlemen and all of YouTube. Let's go.
You've got to get a bigger phone, eRock. You've got to get a bigger phone. Yeah. Hebot, you there, buddy? No. Well, he's here.
It's muted.
He's probably had to pop off and do something, so hopefully he'll be back soon. But we're getting introduced.
And you know, I'm here, but I'm trying to fix something. I'm here.
There he is.
There he is.
Trying to fix something. What you broken?
Huh?
What have you broken?
Everything. It's called old age.
Oh yeah, I did that.
How's everybody? How's everyone?
We're good, mate. We're good. How you doing? What have you broken? You haven't broken your broadband, have you?
Just trying to get some headsets to work here. They're not working for me. They're really not cooperating at this time. But that's okay.
Typical.
It happens.
Well, if you want to just give yourself a shout out, mate, let everybody know where they can find you, and then we'll go to the first topic and give you a bit of time to fix it.
It's the man that everyone loves to hate on Twitter. T-Bot. You know, with the capital H and a capital B, lowercase everything else, and a hyphen in between. It's good to be back. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, DS Connection, Project Xbox, and soon and my podcasts we got next, and soon another one that will be out replacing the DirectX.
Oh, awesome. I'll be checking that one out. We'll leave links down
Thanks
below.
to be back.
Check that out. Good to have you back, buddy. Good to have you back.
Oh, it's great to be back, yes.
Right. Okay. Well, I think what we'll do then is we'll move on to our first topic. So I think for our first topic today, actually, we'll talk about Activision and Blizzard, because they've had a bit of a torrid time recently. They've been having some right old problems, but they recently announced that Destiny 2 Forsaken had not sort of reached their sales expectations. It didn't do very well at all. And then shortly after that, we hear that, Bungie's left them as well. Bungie have jumped ship and left them. And that alone, just Bungie leaving them, is leaving them, they reckon, around about a $400 million drop in sales just from Bungie leaving. So, it makes you wonder. I mean, Destiny obviously wasn't doing too bad if they're losing that sort of money. But there's also rumours now that they're going to be looking to lay off probably hundreds of people at Activision Blizzard, and things aren't looking good for them at all. Is this just something that's going to happen to a company that's got so big and so greedy that, people are actually picking up on this now, and they've just had enough of it? I mean, I got the first Destiny. I wasn't particularly keen on it. I didn't like the style of that game. I could see what Bungie were trying to do, but I did get quite bored with that game. I know people loved it, but it wasn't for me. But the Destiny 2 sort of didn't do as well as they expected it to do. And I didn't even pick up Destiny 2. I just lost interest with it with Destiny 1. But with Activision being the way that they are, I mean, Blizzard, these are the guys... they've got World of Warcraft, haven't they? Blizzard and Overwatch. I mean, great games that are doing, obviously massive games that have been doing very well on PC with World of Warcraft. And Overwatch has been doing extremely well on consoles. But they're now saying that sort of the player base has flattened and is not growing on Overwatch now. And if anything, they're seeing a decline in players. Especially with more games coming out like that. Obviously, more recently, Apex Legends, which we'll talk about a bit later on. But I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on Activision? I mean, how are you seeing this change in how Activision is performing and this decline in their popularity? And I'll go on to you first, actually, Tom, on this one, because this isn't a sort of an Xbox specific question, and I know you were quite keen to bring up Activision and their greed and everything. What's your thoughts on this, buddy? What's your thoughts on the whole Activision Blizzard woes?
Well, the whole fact that it's not good when any amount of jobs have to be cut, no matter what business it is. And the fact that this, I mean, to be honest, I would never have predicted something like this ever happening, especially something as big as Blizzard, as you mentioned there, with the popular titles like World of Warcraft, for example. I couldn't see this coming. However, in the likes of Destiny 2, I've never played Destiny 1. It just, to be honest, for me, it did seem a bit too generic. However, when Destiny 2 did become available as a free game for PlayStation Plus players, I did have a chance to pick it up. And quite frankly, I was bored. So I'm not really too knowledgeable in regards of that. But I mean, if the sales are down, if the stocks are going down, then I mean, it's a shame. But what can you do? Hopefully, people won't lose. Hopefully, hundreds of jobs won't get lost. Hopefully, they'll find other work somewhere else, and keep the money going and being able to bring the food to the table. I mean, it's not a good situation for pretty much anybody involved, and it's a damn shame. I mean, well, obviously they're not close to bankruptcy, are they? But it's still a huge shock to them.
Yeah, I mean, these are the guys behind the Call of Duty series. I mean, you wouldn't think that they would be in such a position, really, with the money that they're getting in from Call of Duty. I mean, it comes out every year. You know, are sales declining on that series as well? I mean, I've had views on Call of Duty. I put a video out this week about Call of Duty, which
it's very much like Marmite. It's Marmite Call of Duty is. I mean, obviously the older titles are much more superior than the newer titles, especially Black Ops 4. So hopefully this will be like kind of a wake-up call for Activision to hopefully do something drastic and change it up so they don't have a massive decrease in sales, in stocks. What they need to do something in order to rebound from this.
Yes, yeah, definitely, and maybe they need to look at, you know, titles like Call of Duty, things like that, and sort of look at where they're going wrong. And it's a shame. I mean, the whole Bungie thing took me by surprise, to be honest with you. Bungie jumping out and leaving the way that they did would just sort of come out of the blue. I mean, that was a big shock. And I need to confirm as well. I mean, I don't know if any of you other guys know. Did Bungie take Destiny with them, or did Activision keep the Destiny franchise rights? I can't remember. I did read it somewhere. I can't remember.
They didn't get them. Bungie walked away from Activision.
So they took Destiny with them, did they?
Yeah.
Ah, right. So yeah. So that was a big new franchise, and they've lost that.
Could we see Destiny 3?
Well, I think it could happen. Bungie might. The thing is, Bungie now, without Activision sort of saying you've got to do it this way, that they can do what they want, and that may have been the problem. That may have been the issue with Destiny 2. Activision were sort of controlling Bungie too much and not allowing them to go in the directions they wanted to go in, and that may have been why they decided to leave Activision, because they felt that they were too controlling over what they wanted to do. So we may see a Destiny. We may see a Destiny 3, but we may see the Destiny 3 that Bungie originally wanted to make, very much like they did with Halo for the Xbox. So,
and that would intrigue me if it is breaking away, and if it is Activision that is the problem with Destiny, making it, well, in my opinion, too boring, and they do something not drastically different, but if they do something to at least spice it up, as from someone who knows practically nothing, I'd be interested in that. So you got me semi-interested into purchasing another title if all goes well.
Yeah, we'll have to just wait and watch this space, I suppose. Watch this space. And what's your take on it, Sherman?
Excuse me. You know, I was like you, and dare I say, like, I don't know, 90% of most gamers. I was pretty surprised when Bungie left. But to be honest, I was surprised. But again, I wasn't necessarily surprised. It was one of those type of deals where, oh, hello?
I could pick you up. I could pick you up, so.
Okay.
Keep going.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I can hear. We can hear you, Sherman.
Okay, great. No, it got super duper quiet. I didn't know.
Well, it always is when you start talking, mate, because everybody just can't control themselves.
Wow.
It's the Vandross voice. The Vandross voice.
Yeah.
We have to listen.
We have to listen. We're encapsulated by your voice.
Wow. The checks in the mail. Although I'm going to have to send it out to each of you about 2 weeks separately. So it's going to take a minute for all of you guys to get them. Thank you for those accolades. Let's see, where was I? Oh, yeah. So I was surprised that Bungie announced that they had basically gotten a divorce from Activision. But then again, I wasn't really surprised because, and I'm sure most of you are aware, maybe not as much now, but there was a time Activision and EA were competing for most hated game company. So I guess it's kind of you can kind of look at it from the standpoint, as with anything, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, you know, behind the closed doors. And let me put it like this: I wasn't surprised that Bungie left Activision. What did surprise me was what you briefly touched on a minute ago, that Bungie actually was able to leave, and, you know, comparatively speaking, they got a divorce and they got to keep the house. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, they actually walked away with Destiny. I mean, you would think that Activision would fight tooth and nail to keep that, seeing that between that and Call of Duty, that's their biggest franchise. So the fact that, you know, whatever, it kind of makes me think that possibly Bungie had something on Activision, and Activision was like, okay, look, we'll let you go. And hey, you know what? In order to keep quiet, here, take Destiny. You don't have to give us anything. Just take Destiny and go.
I reckon. I've been thinking about this. Sorry to interrupt you, Timon, but this was something I was thinking about. And I mean, their big IP, and they're probably their biggest IP to date has been Halo. And they obviously made this deal where Microsoft said that they would own the IP. So when they decided to leave Microsoft, they lost this massive IP. That was their baby, pretty much. And they probably thought, we're never going to get into this situation again. So when they signed up with Activision, they probably had it written in there that if we ever leave, we take our IPs with us. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because they, you know, Halo was a big thing, and they had to walk away from that.
Exactly. So now you bring up an interesting point, because now it's time to look at the other side of the coin. So, just like they just left Activision, and everybody's, oh wow, they left Activision. Oh, what did Activision do to Bungie? Those bastards, you know. but now, if you look at it from the way you just mentioned it, they also left Microsoft. So, is it possible here that maybe, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, is it possible that Bungie might be the bad guys? Because it kind of, right now I'm thinking, well, gee, you could look at it like a guy or a girl who can't hang on to a man or a woman, right? They always find themselves in crappy relationships, and then they're always talking smack like, oh, he was a dick. Oh, she was you know, insert phrase here. And so, you know, it's like one of those type of things where, like, wait a minute.
Would you stop talking about me?
Sorry about that, Andy. I know we agreed that I would keep my mouth shut, but this is too good to pass up. So, you know, could it possibly be that maybe Bungie has something, you know, they've got some attitude problems, or I'm just trying to say maybe it's not all one-sided as far as everybody, you know, Activision's the big bad boogeyman. You know, that could very well be, but then it could also be that maybe something's going on with Bungie. Why can't they stay anywhere for any length of time? And by length of time, of course, you know, they were with Activision for a while, but still, they're with Microsoft. They create this huge IP, and then they wind up leaving. Then they get with Activision. They create this huge IP, and then they leave. I mean, what's next? They're going to go to Nintendo, create a huge IP, and then leave? I mean, I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to look at it from all angles. Now, what was said earlier definitely applies. You never want to see a company, whether we may think that they deserve it or not, nobody ever deserves to wind up on the unemployment line. So that really sucks. You know, you never want to see that happen. And hopefully, like what was said earlier, whoever's affected by the layoffs, that looks like it's definitely going to happen. Hopefully they'll find employment somewhere else relatively quickly. But
initiative.
Well, you know what? Hey, don't think that. In fact, they probably already knew. You know, those are pretty tight circles. So they probably got the word before we did that, hey, there's some layoffs coming. Oh, I'm sure that either calls have been made to them or they reached out, one or the other, depending on their skill set that's available. Which, I mean, we're talking about Activision. They've been around since, well, actually, Activision was the first spinoff company, if you think about it, because most of them started off at Atari from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Again, was I surprised? Yes. But then again, no. Right now, I'm kind of like, well, let's see what's going to happen. I said it like I'm joking about my Nintendo statement, but I would not be surprised. I just wouldn't. I mean, think about that for a second. Wouldn't that be a trip if Bungie announced that, oh, hey, we're working for Nintendo exclusively now, you know, or I mean, that would just be, on the one hand, people would scratch their heads and go, wait, what? But then on the other hand, to think about what they might create for them would be kind of intriguing. So that's kind of, I've got this, I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what comes of this type of attitude.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, are they going to concentrate now on Destiny 3, as Tom mentioned earlier, or have they got another project that they're going to, you know, that they're working on or looking at doing? Perhaps that's another reason. Perhaps they're looking at doing another project, and Activision didn't want to do that. You know, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. What about you, E-Rock? I mean, what's your thoughts on this, bud?
Well, can you guys hear me?
We can, yeah.
Yep.
Well, like what's already been said, you know, I mean, you know, being a working person, no matter where you are, whether you're in America or the United Kingdom, you never want to hear about any layoffs or anybody about to have to figure out how they're going to feed their family and pay their mortgages. I mean, we could argue about video games and consoles all day long, but having to figure out how to feed your family and pay your bills, that's real. That's as real as it gets right there. Right. But you know, as far as Bungie leaving Activision and all the trouble Activision is in, seemingly if you about to lay off workers, your ass is in trouble. So I never understood Bungie's move to Activision. I never got that. I never understood why they left Microsoft. Like why would you leave one of the biggest publishers like on the planet? Like why would you leave somebody who basically had your back? I understood they wanted to go out there and do their own IP. And when they did the IP, when it came out, Destiny, I tried Destiny. I never saw what the hype with Destiny was, so I'm not surprised that Destiny 2 failed. The people that flocked to Destiny were basically, let's call a spade, the Xbox haters, who you know, all of a sudden they wanted to support the very developer or the very game they claimed they hated. I always saw Destiny as being nothing but a full, basically Halo's multiplayer stretched out into a full game. That's what Destiny was. And to be honest with you, there was a free-to-play game called Warframe, which Andy Mack will tell you about. Warframe did Destiny better than Destiny. Yeah. So I never saw it. I never saw the move. I thought the move made no sense. And now here it is. Here it is 6 years later. You know, y'all done left, or 7 years, y'all done, whatever it is, y'all done left Activision, and now you basically ass out trying to find a publisher. So we're going to see if the media favorite PlayStation, the media darling PlayStation, invites him into the fold, or probably not. You know, y'all saying they might join the initiative. I don't see that. I mean, unless Phil and those guys are magnanimous over there and just say, yeah, you know, let's forgive and forget. But there's some heat with that. I don't care what you say. There is some heat with that. Basically, you can't come back to Halo, can you? You can't come back.
No.
How can you come back? That's 343. What's it? 3-1?
3-4-3.
Yeah. So you fucked yourself out of that. You basically, excuse my language. We all adults here. You fucked yourself out of a seat at the dinner table. So like Sherm was saying, the only place you can't go is Nintendo. They'll receive them with open arms, because at least Bungie will bring something to the table. Does not, as you Nintendo's fans always drone into us, Mario, Zelda, Super Smash Brothers. That's all y'all got. So y'all should be courting Bungie even now as we speak. But I'm sorry to hear about all the layoffs and the workers about to lose their jobs. But Bungie, y'all should have known better. If you look at Activision's history, see, people don't look at the history, but Hebot does. If you look at all of the publishing tomfoolery that Activision did back in the day, Dukes of Hazzard, Racing for Home, Army Men, and all 3D, all that bullshit, man. Like, why would you go there? Why would you go there? So, it is what it is, man. And this is proof positive that no company is too big to fail. Sometimes a company can absorb so much stuff that they become big and bloated, and they lose focus of what's going on. So Destiny 2 didn't do good. Call of Duty, I don't even know if I haven't bought a Call of Duty since Call of Duty Modern Warfare with Kevin Spacey. That was like, I had enough of this. That we could fight in space, fight with dogs, sick the dogs on terrorists, put the dogs in spacesuits. It's been so many times you could do that shit before you're burnt out. So, I don't know, man. I just hope that the people that are about to be laid off find work. But I mean, see Activision go, it's no big deal. I don't have no attachment to them the way we had an attachment to Sega. And Sega was ripped from us. That wasn't a choice that we had. Sega was ripped from us because of the media and a bunch of foolishness back in 2000. But I mean, as far as Activision, it's just proof positive that no company is too big to crumble from within. As far as Bungie, I don't know what they do from here, man. Like where do you how do you shop that except to Nintendo? How do you shop that around? Like we're free agents and we're bringing Destiny with us. Like how do you shop that? Who's going to bite? I don't know, man.
Thing is, well, sorry, Sherman. I was just going to say, the thing I can't understand though is if they take, we're just sort of looking at this and just, talking whatever. But if they took Destiny 3 to the Switch, I mean, really, it's an old system. I mean, they're going to be held back quite a bit by the technology of that system. So it's going to take the series even more backwards. And obviously, the Switch has not got a massive online server either. It's not got a massive online multiplayer gaming system. And it's fairly new in its.
Yeah, but Micro, it could have Nintendo Labo products with it. you got to think these things through, mate.
They had to bring it in. You could get a cardboard helmet to wear whilst you're playing
it. Yeah, they messed up by not using recycled cardboard.
Wait, you mean they didn't go green?
Micro,
yeah,
you'll probably get an announcement soon. Since we're speculating, you'll probably get an announcement soon in the next 2 months that Bungie is now part of PlayStation family, and that Destiny is going to be a PlayStation exclusive. And then all of a sudden, everybody will be hyped about that shit. I guarantee you, because I can't see them coming back to Microsoft. I can't see them becoming a part of the initiative. I can't see that. There's too much bad blood there.
Oh, wait. Now, please, E-Rock, you got anything else to say? Because I got something to say about that.
No, I'm done.
Okay. and this came to me as you were speaking a couple of minutes ago. Now, from what we know, you're absolutely right. The way they left Microsoft years and years ago, it was no secret. It was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And so based on the knowledge that we have, you're absolutely right. The chances of them being invited back, being invited back to the table at Microsoft is slim to none. However, And again, I don't know why today I seem to be on this let's look at the other side of the coin mood today. But the thought occurred to me when they left Microsoft. You remember who was in charge of not only Xbox, but Microsoft, period. Ballmer was in charge.
Okay.
Steve Ballmer was in charge at Microsoft. And okay, people can say that he's running the basketball team in Cali now, okay. But it was common knowledge that a lot of folks couldn't stand him at Microsoft. So there was that. And then who was the infamous leader at Xbox when they left? Exactly. And we all know the crazy things he was up to. So could it be, so you're looking at a total change of guard. Phil wasn't running Xbox. Say what you want about Nadella, but he's definitely backing up Xbox now. So you got Nadella running Microsoft. He's basically, he promoted Phil, for goodness sake. So Phil's got more power now than he did when Metric left. So you got Nadella and you got Big Phil. Both of those people were not in any position to be calling the final shots when Bungie was there. So and then remember when Bungie announced that they were leaving, what was the first thing that came out? Phil reached out to them and like, hey, well, we hope you guys, we wish you well and blah, blah, blah. And it was very friendly because, it was posted online, the tweets that went back and forth between the director at Bungie and Phil Spencer. They were talking all friendly and stuff. And that was when the scuttlebutt was kind of floating in the ether like, oh, wait a minute. Is Bungie about to come back to Microsoft? So what I'm saying is that because there's a total change in leadership, as opposed to who was there when Bungie left, I wouldn't necessarily dismiss the small possibility that maybe Bungie could go back. I'm just saying, you may be right, and I would not be surprised if Sony says, oh, hey, you know what? Come on over here. And let's be honest, that would just be another, I'm just going to call it for the way it is. That would be just another feather in their cap, so to speak, for them to say, oh, guess who we've got with us? Bungie. And guess what this means? Destiny now is a PlayStation exclusive. And the gaming media would just hype that up to no end.
Oh, gotcha.
In fact, I could see Sony doing it just for that reason alone. Just for that reason alone. Nope. You want to play Destiny? Well, you know what? We're the only game in town if you're a Destiny fan, right? So I could see them doing that only for that reason alone. But for all we know, as we speak right now, Phil and the director of Bungie might be on the phone talking right now, for all we know. So I'm just saying anything's possible.
You got a point. You got a point. We hear you. You got a point. And see, this is why I don't run these multi-billion-dollar companies, because like, man, if I was Microsoft, I wash my hands of it. Like, look, y'all left, dude. Y'all left. We got the initiative now. We're moving on without y'all. Go to Sony. Like we're moving on. See, this is why I don't run these multi-billion-dollar companies.
Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
We wait for MicroPod. What micro to wait?
What happened there?
I'm hearing a weird echo.
Yeah, where's that coming from?
Is he by driving around in his car in Passaic, New Jersey?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I had to transfer. Yeah.
You need to close down your other hangout.
See, you can see me. I have the sun visor.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I see you.
There you go. Yeah, it's a bit of an echo, isn't it?
It's still echoing?
Not. Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah. He's on the move. He's on the move. Our roaming reporter.
I'm on the move. I'm trying to report what's Activision's next move.
Well, we might as well go on to you then, as you're ready.
Okay, sounds great.
Let's listen to your views, mate. What's your thoughts on the whole Activision thing?
Well, I'll start with saying there's a saying that we all know very well. It's called "Never bite the hands that feeds you," right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Bungie has become that product of that saying, because when they left Microsoft, they didn't leave by just doing it, professionally and moving on. We want to do other things. Microsoft gave us the open door to do it. The deal with Halo, obviously, we all know, started with Apple. Then they were giving them not really a good deal, so Microsoft offered them something better to bring it to console. It was supposed to be something for PC originally, Halo. And it worked out tremendous for them. Microsoft funded every project they've ever done and built their studio to be as big as it became, and basically gave them the opportunity that they gave a lot of people in this industry, including Ninja Theory with Chaos, Kung Fu Ninja, right? Kung Fu Chaos.
Yes.
That a lot of people may or may not know. And, and then once they got too big or too high for their own britches, they were like, we want out! Microsoft's not letting us do what we want to do! How dare they? So Microsoft basically said, okay, no problem, you guys can go. And then they ended up in the company that we've all known since day one, back all the way as far as Atari. Right. They basically just bought little independent studios or little developers to publish their games, and it didn't matter if it was licensed, if it was shitty, or if it was good. So we always used to get that type of behavior from Activision. And till this day, I guess, the leadership in Activision has been pretty much about that. Just try to make as much money as you can in such little time and not really worry about quality control. So Destiny has become a product of Activision's old school mentality, which is something that felt kind of rushed. Solid, yes, because the developers had already the experience, but felt rushed nonetheless. It felt more like a multiplayer with trying to fit in some story arc in between there. And then later, obviously, added it on as it went along. And since it was something new, and like E-Rock so elegantly put it earlier, a lot of the PlayStation guys were like, all right, we're going to get our Halo finally. So, and I'm not saying, and please, no disrespect to the gentleman in the panel. I'm not saying you did that. But a lot of people probably felt like that in the PlayStation community, because they rather do that than actually go out and buy an Xbox and play Halo, because that's like blasphemy to them, which is stupid. But anyway, either way, they probably, and not only that, even the Xbox fans, they were curious. They wanted to see what they were going to do. It's something new. So it was new. So everybody flocked to it, because it was fresh. It was new. They wanted to see how it looked, how it played, what was it about. And then when they had the bad experience with the first game, and the second one was, obviously announced like maybe 3 years probably after the fact. Oh, yeah, it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger, better and bolder. And then when it came out, a lot of people felt burnt by the first Destiny. So they didn't take that dive right away, right? And then it didn't help that after that game was out, people were saying they were trying to do the same, that they started off good, but then they started doing the same exact behavior that they started doing with the first Destiny, and giving you the runaround and giving you some fake story that it was going to be like this, and it turned out to be like that. And I think that's basically all Activision's fault. That's them saying, listen, let's go. We got to meet a deadline. We want this like this. No excuses. Get it done. We don't care how you do it. Yeah. And that's not bad. And that's not good, for the gamers especially, and obviously for the developers, because now, not only do they have the burden that they left Halo and the Halo fans were upset with them, Now they have the people that follow them in Destiny saying, oh, they lied to us. They jerked us. How dare these fucking developers do this? Not realizing they have a boss they have to answer to. Right. And that boss is the one that was funding them. That boss was the one that gave them mandates. That boss is the one that gave them deadlines. That's why they wanted to go on their own finally. Now, will they be able to make up for all that, lost time and bad reception with the fans? Time will tell, because now they're really their own dependent developer, right? So if they decide to do something like Destiny 3, now there is the time for them to prove that what they were doing with Destiny 1 and 2 was not their say 100%. It was out of their control. It wasn't really their fault. They did what they could with what the hand that was dealt to them. You understand what I'm trying to say? And, so do they deserve a chance? Absolutely. I think they've earned the respect in gaming and the pedigree in gaming to get that third chance, right? Because I think they were in a not so fair situation. But if I wanted to give you a short answer to the question, they basically got what they deserve. As mean as that may sound, that is why Bungie's in the position that they're in today. And I hope that they can get out of it and do get a third chance to make up for it and get the respect they once had when they were under Microsoft. Because like E-Rock said and like Sherman said, at least Microsoft had their back. Didn't matter what it was. Didn't matter what went wrong. They always said no. In Bungie, we believe that they could get it done. You see what I'm saying? So, it comes with the territory, Micro. And we all here as gamers and experience, especially for those of us that have been playing, since God told us that we can breathe, right? We know, as we all know, that the gaming industry is a business for money first before it is anything else. It's an entertainment business. And we have to understand that. And money talks. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And I believe the Destiny numbers just weren't there the way Activision wanted it to be, because Activision obviously has become all about the money first, which is understandable. But in order to make the money, I think if you respect your audience enough, you will make money. You see what I'm saying? Just like Microsoft. Look at Microsoft. They got the lower install base in sales, but they're making the higher sales in games overall because they respect their gamers when they give them something, you see? And they try to keep feeding them and innovate for them. So the gamers appreciate that, and that's why they still gravitate to them, whether it's through Game Pass, whether it's through buying a game on sale, whether it's buying a game on launch, whether it's through multiplats, you name it, whether it's multiplayer component, whatever it may be. And with all the beautiful features they add on their console for us to enjoy and be able to access, to make the gaming experience obviously a lot better. So, salute to Bungie. Nonetheless, I wish them nothing but the best. But again, like I said, if I had to give you the short answer is they got what they deserve. They put themselves in this bed. Now they have to lay on it. Now, hopefully they'll be able to wake up without that headache, so to speak, or the hangover. That's my take on it. That's what I feel.
Oh, cool. What about you, Andy? You've been listening to all of this. I mean, where are you at with all this, with Activision and Bungie leaving?
I think it's the best thing that Bungie can do, really, because this is what somebody told me about Bungie and Activision, that the reason why the DLC took so long to come out or whatever, or the fact that the DLC should have been there at the start or whatever, was because they held it back. They deprived people of the DLC until Activision decided they'd release it. And then they would it looked like they broke the game for people, and then they brought it back with a huge DLC. And it's funny because it's exactly what they've done with the second game. And it just screams out, this is stupid.
Yeah.
You've basically done the same thing to the first game with the second. But I think it's a real shame that people have lost their jobs when really the people in charge of Activision should have lost their jobs. They think too much about the greed of the profits than they do of supplying their users with entertainment, entertaining games, etc. But yeah, going back to the Warframe section that E-Rock mentioned, that Warframe have gone from strength to strength. They release updates all the time. They've got dev streams weekly. You know, they've added everything's free. Obviously, because it's a free game, it's got microtransactions in, and they're all. It's not pay to win. It's basically you can buy blueprints with cash, weapons, and all you got to do in the game is collect resources and finish all the missions. And there's a little bit of story behind it.
And Warframe feels like a AAA free-to-play, Andy, not to cut you off. I'm sorry. It's very, very. Oh my God, that game is night and day. If you go play it now, because my son is a religious Warframe player, believe it or not.
It's a fantastic game. Lots of things in that game. Destiny copied them. I mean, there's a guy at work. He's a massive fan of Warframe, and he even says it. And he likes Destiny. I mean, if you want to know what a game should be compared to Activision's Destiny, just look at Warframe. But Warframe's not a game. To me, actually, Destiny is like a casual version of Warframe because it's not just simply a looter shooter. It's a resource, and then you've got to wait like 24 hours for some things and 3 days for like a new Warframe.
Yeah.
No, it's not a game you pick up and go, oh, I'll play a few hours, put it down, leave it a week. You know.
We definitely seem to be seeing an upturn on the quality of free-to-play games, don't we? Certainly with things like Fortnite we've seen over the last year, Warframe as you've brought up, and obviously... Sorry, Andy, go on.
Now you said new games. I mean, you've got Fortnite, and that's taken away people from Overwatch because some of the people I see who constantly post pics of Overwatch are now showing videos of Fortnite.
Yeah,
you know,
they're very, very popular. I mean, I was reading earlier that Fortnite on the iOS alone, just on the Apple format, since March last year, has made 455 million quid just on the Apple. And that's, you know, it just gives you an insight into how much these games are making. And it leads really well into our next subject, actually, with time to change subjects. And that's to discuss Apex Legends that dropped over the last week. And I don't know about you guys, but this game was completely under my radar. I'd never even heard of it until it appeared on the dashboard the day that it was released. And even then I saw it and didn't pay any attention to it. But obviously, a lot of people have been going on about this game now. I've installed it, I've played it, and I was blown away by it. And anybody who knows my channel and has watched my latest video will know my thoughts on Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Very popular video. I lost about 5 subscribers from that video. Obviously, it wasn't a very popular video, in my opinion. People don't like me hating on COD, but oh my God. But, you know, I mean, it's my channel and I'm going to give my opinions, you know, and if people don't like my opinions, and that's up to them. If they don't want to watch the channel, that's completely up to them. But, you know,
Hang on. COD shit. That's another 5 gone.
No, don't you? They'll all be jumping ship. But Apex Legends just dropped, and me and Andy and Winky Gaming got on it the other night, and it was the first time I played it. I didn't even know it was a battle royale mode game. I was sort of we're loading it up, and then all of a sudden I'm dropping from this plane or whatever it was. I'm like, oh, well, what's happening here? I'm completely lost. I used the footage from the first game I played on the video actually, which is hilarious. So I had no idea what I was doing. We had no idea what he was doing either. I think Andy was the only one who really knew what they were doing. But it just felt so much like Titanfall. And in my opinion, that's a good thing. I mean, I really enjoyed the first Titanfall. The second Titanfall I've just picked up because it was like £4 on the Microsoft Store this week in the sale. So I picked that up and I've been playing that quite a bit when I should be playing the Division 2 beta. We'll go into that in a bit. But you know, Respawn have done an amazing job on this game, and they're dropping, these other games are getting dropped for this game. I mean, I think they had 10 million players in 72 hours logging onto that game. And that's pretty impressive to have 10 million people on that game in just a short time. And it's an incredible game. I love it. It's very playable, and it's extremely fun to play because it technically is the Titanfall engine. I mean, it feels just like playing Titanfall. The only difference is there's no wall running, and you've got no mechs in there. But I mean, Tom, have you even played this game yet? Have you had a chance to see Apex Legends yet? Have you had a go at it?
I have played about a couple of hours, a good few hours in there, and I've never played Titanfall, so I'm not looking at it as in comparison towards that. I'm looking at it as a battle royal mode. It was a battle royal game. So I've played Fortnite, I've played PUBG, I've played Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I must say that this has just exceeded all of them, in my honest opinion. This is just a phenomenal game. The characters are fantastic. I mean, I'm sure someone will bring up the whole fact of a few people aren't happy that one is gay, but that's beside the point. I absolutely love the fact, again, like you, I'd had no idea this was under production. I didn't know this was being created. So I heard about this. I heard how successful and how many people are praising it. So, of course, I had a quick look, and it blew me away. And I don't really do like these award type things, but if I had to, that would already probably been the biggest surprise of 2019 for me. But there's one thing which caught my eye, especially to this, and I'm seriously looking forward to it, is haven't they practically confirmed cross-platforming?
Yes, they have. Yes, it is coming between Xbox, PS4, and PC. They just haven't given a timescale yet, but it will be getting cross-play.
Oh, I don't care when, as long as it does arrive. I'm seriously looking forward to that. I mean, one of the main reasons why I got a PlayStation 4 is because a lot of my friends went for that, so I obviously joined them. But now, obviously, I met Mark, I met you, I met Andy, and a few others people, and now, if obviously it's not every game that's going to be doing this, but at least there's one game which I can get involved with, say, you guys. It's fantastic. I'm excited for it. Hopefully, with the success that this could get, it could encourage, Sony to lighten up the whole cross-platforming debacle. And hopefully it will give more opportunities to cross-platform in the future. But the game itself, fantastic. I love the fact that, I mean, one thing about PlayerUnknown Battleground, at least for the PlayStation 4 version, is that you cannot jump out at the same time as your fellow squad members. However, this time, if say, one guy's, my team member is actually leading the jump, I jump out with him. And if I don't want to go in the same direction as them, I can break off. I like that freedom. I love the design. I love the way it plays. I love the way it feels. Just everything about Apex Legends. It's legendary. That's a fantastic game.
You're right, and there were things I forgot to say about. I mean, the whole the fact that you can jump out as a squad and you can stick together and just one person controls it and takes you in. They've managed to make changes to the battle royale system that make it even better.
Oh, of course. And the fact is that in previous games, the only way I can communicate with my squad is if I plug in a microphone and actually tell them there's an enemy over there to the left. This time, I could just literally what they call a ping, which is like press R1, and then say I'm pointing at an enemy, it will show up on my squad member's team that I've pointed to this enemy, and also my character will say enemy at 9 o'clock or etc. They thought of everything that a battle royale game needs, and they've excelled everyone's expectations.
Yes, yeah. I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, as I mentioned in my previous video, I accidentally picked up Black Ops 4 last week. Got a bit drunk and bought it in the sale. But the battle royale mode on that game, I just felt was just awful. It just didn't feel right for a Call of Duty game. And as it happened, I got Microsoft to refund me, but I was very disappointed with that. This was just a breath of fresh air. I'm not into Fortnite because I'm not into all of that building stuff. When I play a shooter, I just want to shoot. I don't want to be building houses and putting a cooker in and getting the gas connected.
I can understand the appeal, but for me, it's a big turn off creating a house.
Yeah. I just want to be concentrating on surviving, and that's probably why I enjoyed PUBG more so than all the others that were coming out. But this, I think, is going to be my battle royale of choice. I think until the Battlefield 5 one gets released, because they're bringing out a battle royale for Battlefield 5, and I really enjoyed Battlefield 5. We'll go over to you, Andy, actually, because I mean, obviously we both played it at the weekend, or during the week, should I say, with Wingy. Wingy Gaming's actually in the chat. He's listening at work. It was supposed to be here. You should have skipped work tonight, Wingy. What are you doing? But we did have a good crack with Wingy on that the other night. Actually, when you left, Andy, we actually got some kills, so I think it was you dragging our game down. But
you guys were drinking. Do you know what I really liked was the fact that I'm no pro, right? You came on and you play like a right noob. It's like, yes, I'm not the noob tonight, baby.
I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know it was a battle royale game. I didn't know what it was.
Me and Wingy were like coming out the plane or whatever, and it was just like, "Where's Microgon?" Oh, that's right. You bugger off over there.
I didn't realise that you were going to. I just automatically started moving the stick over, and I didn't realise I was going to be going into auto cruise.
But I have to say, the game for a free game is really, really looking something great. You know, they've taken like the character type models from Overwatch and applied it to a battle royale mode, which I think is really, really good. It's gonna get the people who are more into Overwatch and different like characters with abilities onto a free game like that. Like the ping thing's really good. I like that feature probably the best, because I can just go, they're over there and not.
It is useful, yeah, very much so.
You can point without going, yeah, over there, and then people know exactly where you're talking about and stuff like that.
Well, I'm a nightmare with that. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to describe where something is, and by the time I finish describing where they are, they've gone anyway. So
what's really annoying is you go to a supply box and you've taken all the shit. Cheers, mate.
I'm in everything.
I'm going to actually bring up the character whose backstory is gay, right? It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit if the character you play is gay? It's not going to be like a disease where you catch it.
Didn't someone actually make a request to the developers to actually change him?
Yeah. It's like, oh no, no, the big like the big guy called Gibraltar is gay. Oh my god,
no,
that's his name.
Is he?
Totally taking masculinity away, being gay. Oh no.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't. That was the first time I've heard that, to be honest.
No,
I don't know. They put it in so subtly, and is it like a description? It's not like they were like, "Oh, look, we've got an LGBT representative in this game." It was literally just like, "Oh, he has a boyfriend."
What's funny is they make a point about that, but they don't say shit about the one
the end of it.
Who's got a gun in a pick or whatever, and it's just like, why have you got a gun when you've got to find it? You've got to find the gun, and you've got one particular gun. That's something to like talk to the devs about.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. When I was picking my character, when I first played it, because I didn't know it was a battle royale, as I keep saying, when I picked the character that had the best looking weapon that suited me. And then I'm parachuting out and I ain't got a fucking weapon. So it was a complete waste of time. I was like 5 minutes deciding which character to go with because of the weapon.
Do you know what I like doing? When you do the tutorial at the beginning and it goes, if you slide on the floor, it actually makes you go faster. So you just go down that hill sliding, going whee all the way
down. Oh dear me!
And then you play with Microbox, and then he totally forgot.
Yeah, I was a bit out of it with that game. I didn't know what I was doing the first couple of games, but I got there. When I realised what it was, I thought it was tennis. Dear me. Right, how about you, E-Rock? Have you played this game?
Oh no, I haven't, guys. I'm glad you're excited about it, though. I mean, seriously, I really am. I'm glad you're enthused about it. I'm enthused that you're enthused about it. That's what makes gaming so great, is that there's so many genres for everybody, you know. But me personally, man, I've played so many of these shooters, is like battle royals and PUBGs and Call of Duties, and I think some guys are excited for Anthem. And if Apex is doing something new in the battle royal arena, great, man. But first of all, I didn't even know that this game was being made. I just heard about it like last week. And I'm like, yo, man, you got to check out Apex. And I'm like, well, what do you got to do? You got to shoot people. I'm like, I'm good, dude. And well, you're excited about Crackdown. Well, because like you got to come at me right now with like a different twist to this shit, rather than just say, man, look, here's a gun and your job is to shoot Andy in the back. And as exciting as that may sound, like, you gotta,
always me.
you gotta
this is racist.
You gotta kind of put a twist to it for me. So, but I'm glad you got excited about it, man.
Sorry for laughing, Andy.
It's all love, Andy.
Yeah, I shot him in the back. I shot him in the back a few times, and I knew it wouldn't make any difference, but it made me feel better.
Listen,
so
I missed Tintin tonight for this. I've never even seen it either.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were having him round. Right, okay, next one.
Oh man,
what about you, Sherman? Have you played this?
I have not played it, but unlike it seems like the rest of the planet, I actually knew it was coming.
Oh wow!
In fact, I posted at the mansion. I'm trying to think. Did I post at Roscoe's video? I know I posted. I mentioned it ahead of time at the mansion. I don't know. It must have been 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks before it came out. Maybe a week and a half. I mentioned that it was coming, and I kind of went into detail about it too. And it was weird because I was expecting people to just say, "Oh, quit! What are you smoking crack?" But nobody said anything, which I figured no one would believe me. But I figured, I'll post it anyway, and nobody really said anything. So I don't know if people just kind of looked at it as they woke up and they thought they were dreaming, and okay, whatever. And then it came out and people were like, oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming, and I knew that it was from the Titanfall developers. What I didn't know was that the mechs weren't going to be in it. I knew that they were going to do a battle royale game, and that it was, they were kind of being coy about, on the one hand, they were saying for sure that it wasn't quote unquote Titanfall 3. But they were kind of being coy as far as whether or not it would be considered Titanfall 2.5, something like that. Now, the fact that it was going to be free, my sources, so to speak, were not entirely sure if it was going to be like a Titanfall 2, a massive Titanfall 2 update. Or if it was just going to be released completely separate. So obviously, Respawn, they were having big time discussions / debates about which way they should handle that. So obviously, they decided, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and put it out as a standalone game, and we're going to, change the name and go at it from that perspective. So, yeah, I knew it was coming. I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to actually play it. But the information that I knew going in ahead of time, I knew that it had the potential to be pretty big. And as far as I'm concerned, any game that can possibly dethrone Fortnite is a good thing. So
amen.
So, but with that being said, I don't want to poo-poo on Fortnite too heavily, because the good thing about Fortnite, and yes, there is at least one good thing, and that is, in my opinion, Fortnite, the good part about Fortnite being as huge as it is that when it comes to playing online, any other online game, we finally don't have to worry about snot-nosed kids being in the game, participating in whatever game you're playing, because they're too busy, you know, building whatever they're building in Fortnite. So the underage game crowd has reduced drastically in all other online games, because they're all busy congregating. You know, it's like back in the 70s when all the little kids used to hang out at the mall. Well, Fortnite is turned into the big mega mall now of internet gaming. It's full of little kids, and you know what? I guess everybody's got to have somewhere to go. So I will say that's one good thing about Fortnite. As far as I'm concerned, that's the only good thing about Fortnite. And I don't mean to like devolve the conversation into Fortnite diss session, but I just don't. Me personally, I just don't see what the big deal is. Maybe it's not meant for me, and that's fine. You know, everybody has their thing. Some people like crack. Crack's not for me. So
depends what type it is, really.
Do tell. Yeah. So you know, that being said, I'm glad that, you know, I'm actually glad that Apex is doing well. Again, the things that I knew about it ahead of time, I'm not surprised that it's doing well. Now, my question is, where do they go from here? I think it should also be said, because a lot of people, when the game was revealed, a lot of people, especially online, you know, it was just automatically assumed that, oh, you mean to tell me that they canceled Titanfall 3 for this? You know, I mean, no, they didn't officially cancel Titanfall 3. Again, I got certain sources that are backing that notion up. When Titanfall 3 will be available, now that's another story. But it's still in the works. But you know, anybody that's played Apex, and again, I'm not one of them, but from everything that I know about the game, and that I have known, they put a lot into that game. They really, really put a lot into it. So, hey, if they want to take a month vacation, let them. You know, they've obviously earned it. So, I am looking forward to giving it a try, because again, like I said, I've known about it, but I just haven't had a chance to download it and play it. But again, any game that can dethrone Fortnite, I think that's a good thing. And who knows, maybe now the rate of divorce that have been caused by Fortnite will start to drop. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know.
And it is a very popular. It's like all of these gaming phenomenons. They do gradually start dwindling, and we've seen that with, you know, Overwatch was a massive success, but those figures are starting to dwindle a bit now and drop off. So it's only a matter of time. But you know, it's like Minecraft. I mean, when you look at the success that they've had with Minecraft, and they're still playing it today.
Yeah.
We could still see Fortnite being this successful 2-3 years down the line from now. But I think the guys at Respawn have really done an excellent job with Apex. It's incredible to play. It's fun to play. I mean, there people have been saying, you know, do you think they'll put mechs in it? I don't know whether they will, because I don't think the mechanics of Apex would support mechs, because there's none of the wall running and all that sort of jumping around like you do with Titanfall. Whether we'll see a Titanfall 3, I hope we do, but I know Titanfall 2 didn't really it didn't really sell as well as they were hoping, even though the review scores for the game are pretty high. I think they were in the late 80s, early 90s for the reviews for Titanfall 2, and it's an amazing game. I mean, the campaign on that game is incredible.
Yeah, it
really is. I mean, I've got it on EA Access, I believe, but they had it in the sale this week on Microsoft. I think it was about £3.75 or something like that, and it was a no-brainer. I just thought, well, if I ever end up me EA Access, I've still got it, so I bought it.
And if I'm not mistaken, it came with all the DLC.
Yeah, not sure. I'm not sure, actually. I'll have to have a look at that. I'm not sure if it did.
I think it did. And let me just say this. Over here in the US, it did.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll have to have a look at that. It might have done. I know it was the standard edition, but I wasn't sure what did come with it. But anyway, well, cheers for that, buddy. Cheers for that. Yeah, it's all good. Apex is looking good, and it's getting the success it deserves. So before we go to Hebot as well and ask him if he's played it and what he thinks, I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat as well. I'm a really bad male, and as you all know, males have a real problem doing more than one thing at a time, and I am terrible. So trying to take in what the guys are saying and keep track of it and interacting with the chat, I have real problems. So I do apologise to everybody in the chat that's chatting away, and I'm not really interacting as much as I'd like. But I just want to give shout outs to the people I can see in the chat now. There's a Primal Eve, the indie gamer. I know he's had to leave before the thing ended. He had to go and spend some time with his wife. Alien Raider, UK Daz is there. That weirdo Anti-Max hanging around again like a bad smell. Respawn Gaming, Craig Simmons Gaming TV. God, we're going down. There's loads of people in the chat today. Jade Kukin, thank you so much for checking the chat and checking out the podcast. Mr. Kima. God, more. I know that the Welsh Gamers in there. DJ Singh, Saltis Gaming, Mr. Boomstick. DJ Singh, there he is. Dean78, thanks again for checking it out. Ice Queen Gaming. Whoa, so many. Dreadpool. Wink is there. Wink has been hanging around in the chat as well, although I think he's had to go and actually do some work now. Shish No Elite, thanks for checking out the podcast. God, blimey, is there more? Stubbs, there we go. Stubbs is there as well. I've already said hello to Stubbs anyway in the chat, but I didn't actually get around to saying hello to a few people. Welsh Gamer, I've already said you, but it's good to see you in the chat, buddy. Thanks for checking the podcast. God, still going. Oh, and Cypher as well. I don't know what he's doing hanging around in the chat. That's my brother. He's a weirdo.
Does he talk like you, Chris?
Does he talk? No, he's not that educated.
Oh.
He'll bash me tomorrow. So
he's there at home with some sandwiches and his tractor.
Hey, don't you start taking the piss out of us Gloucestershire people.
How do you know I'm talking about Gloucester?
Girl, I could tell by that dodgy accent you're trying to put on.
No, that's Kruker, mate.
Right, Hebot, mate. Hebot, have you played Apex Legends and what do you think about it?
Well, as you all know,
here he goes.
I'm all about the co-op campaign, not really the competitive campaign. But, you know, I can give you something of my thoughts, I guess. No, look, in all seriousness, I don't really play a lot of, competitive type multiplayer mode games I played Titanfall 1. I enjoyed it, but even that for me, I got old for me fast. But I do know that there's a lot of people in gaming that I love it, really do appreciate it, and that's a great thing because that's what gaming is all about, the uniqueness of having all different genres, different venues, different types of games. It's like many like RTS, many like RPG, and many don't like either one of those. So, I'm just glad that there's room for the space, for the type of game, and for the audiences that follow them to be happy, because you guys are speaking like you had a blast, and that's a great thing. But you gotta look at, what I will say is this, you gotta look at some of the things. Apex kind of came out of nowhere, right? It was under wraps, but there was ramblings going on for quite a couple of weeks, like Shermanator said. with some people kind of hinting at something, and they all thought it would be Titanfall or whatnot. And I think this is EA. Respawn's kind of in the situation that Bungie might have been in, where EA just trying to do something to compete with like Fortnite, obviously, with PUBG, because they've had enormous success. But one of the things that people don't seem to understand with these, companies like EA is.
Yeah, he's gone quiet.
Devices. All types of different devices, like space, like tablets, and also because it gravitates to a lot of kids in the sense that, it's got like a cartoonish kind of kiddie-ish feel, like Fortnite, for example, even though it is killing and building buildings and stuff like that. So it's kind of like Minecraft meets Call of Duty with a cartoon aesthetic, right? So to speak. Yeah. So it makes sense why it's been a phenomenon, because that's basically what it is, a phenomenon. And that's fantastic, because that's good for gaming. That means gaming is still healthy. And now even gaming and all devices apparently is healthy, which is, something we would have never thought probably would have been a thing if you asked us maybe 15 years ago, right?
Definitely not.
So that's good, because it shows growth in the gaming community, in the gaming world, right? That's the good part about it. The sad thing about it, the scary thing about it, is that I just hope that doesn't stay stagnant at that point for many, many years, and it keeps on being the same thing over and over. Kind of like when everybody was trying to do a bunch of first-person shooters over and over to emulate, Halo or even Gears of War 3 with the third-person perspective, and and it started to get stale or feel kind of stale. It even met its way over to the actual franchises that started the popularity of it, like a Halo or like a Gears, right? The popularity. I'm not saying it did it first, but the popularity of it, right? So, I think Respawn is in that situation. So they figured, well, we didn't have success with the Titanfall. Because to be honest with you, the reason why Titanfall 2 didn't do well was because of that burned remark that the guy, I don't know if it was Vincent Pella or whoever the hell it was, on Twitter, that he says Titanfall looks better in blue than it did green or something like that. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I think that really bothered a lot of the gamers in the Xbox community, because believe it or not, if you guys know or do not know, you can look it up yourself. The Titanfall 1 game actually sold well over 10 million units. Okay. Wow. And from those 10 million units plus, I think 93% was on Xbox, and the other 8% was on PC. I could be wrong. Yeah. It could have changed to this point, but at that point when it was announced, those were the numbers given, right?
I remember seeing that.
Right. So that says a lot. That means a lot of people embraced it, because not only would it feel fresh and different, it was exclusive, and even though the Xbox had the smaller install base, it still managed to gain a very nice, grand audience. And yes, granted, it came bundled. It was put on, it was given out for free. It dropped in price. Absolutely. Those are all factors why the audience grew. Absolutely. But nonetheless, the game still, you got to give credit where credit's due. It did well for NYP. So I think when Vincent Pella went on Twitter and did that, he basically hurt himself, because he basically said, here's the middle finger to all the people that supported our new IP. Matter of fact, I can put up an article and show it to you guys, and I give it to you, Chris, and you can link it, where it said where Titanfall was basically saved by Microsoft because Sony didn't want to do it. They said no.
That's right. Okay? Yeah, I remember
so
that.
Microsoft saved the IP and the property, and then when EA saw how big it did, how well it did so fast, they went right behind Microsoft back, because they knew Microsoft didn't have the money. They had money constraints where they couldn't just do whatever they wanted to do, so they couldn't go buy flat out the IP or buy Respawn for that matter, okay, or offer them some money. And then EA came, swooped them up. Oh, you're going to do Titanfall 2, and you're going to emphasize that it's going to be on PS4 because it's the higher install base. Again, I've always said install base means nothing, because the Switch and the Wii U have the smallest install base, right? And they had the highest selling games, right? In one category. Mario Brothers, Mario Kart, right? It sold what, 10 million? Mario World, whatever, sold like 12 million, and the install base for the Wii U was 12 million. So that means almost every person that had a Wii bought it. You see? based on the numbers. So that tells you a whole lot. Just like with Titanfall, at that point, Titanfall came out in March. Microsoft definitely had the smaller install base because of all the backlash, the media hate, the actual trolls, and actually the weak Xbox community that they didn't stand up for what they believed in and turned their backs on them and stayed quiet because they felt like if they said something, they were going to get ostracized or criticized by the haters or the naysayers, which didn't matter because if you believe in a product, you stand by it no matter what. And I could respect you more for that. That you told me, yeah, I love this, and that's what I love. It doesn't matter if it's PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox. I give you more respect because you stand in what you believe in, and you don't change your way, and you don't change what you say, because that's a more respectable way of being than saying, oh, look, I like this, and then tomorrow, oh, I don't care about that. I like this now, because then you end up looking to the majority of the audience like you're fake, right? Or you're trying to give a different message just to fit in, right? But anyway, so because it's Respawn that did it, I think it's a no-brainer that the game is obviously good. It obviously has quality. It obviously is going to resonate with a lot of the shooter-based fans of multiplayer, like Call of Duty, like a Battlefield, because they know how to do shooters right. I mean, they're the ones who made Call of Duty as big as it is today. And we must not forget that. People can't forget that. So I'm not surprised. And also the fact that it's free, obviously. Anything that says free on it, people are going to at least try it. You know what I mean? At least. Me, myself, I'm guilty of it. I try it at least. I haven't tried this game particularly, but my son's been on it for like a week and hasn't let it go. So I've been seeing him play, so I know. What are you talking about? And the game looks pretty polished. It basically looks like an adult version of Overlord. Without, maybe the sword play, but that's how I see it. That's what it looks like. And, if people are having fun, that's what matters. So I think it's great that, that it was discovered and that is kind of pulling people away from Fortnite, like Sherman said, because it seems like Fortnite cannot be killed. It just keeps on and on and on. Not that I'm hating because that's good for Fortnite, obviously.
Right.
But, I don't know. I can't say no bad or I can't say no good because I have no right to say a real solid opinion about the game because I haven't played it. So I'm not going to sit here fraudulently and say, oh yeah, game's great or the game's all shit and I have no clue. I'm not going to do that. But I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it and many others. I think it's great, and I think it's great for Respawn because as of late, since the Titanfall 2, they have gotten a lot of backlash. Because a lot of people, I keep telling you, it's not just the publishers that own these companies. It's the developers that get hurt. Because they could come to a point where these developers get so much negativity and that door starts to close on them where they have to close down and they don't exist anymore. And we lose a lot of talent that way. A lot of talent. And I think that's one of the reasons why Microsoft early in the beginning, like I've told people, wanted to do the DRM with stores where you had to actually repurchase at a cheaper cost and have a reinstallation fee based on the publishers or developers themselves so that developers can make money from these games that sit on the store shelves and they're being sold at almost the same cost as where they are new and they make no money out of it. That's why GameStop is in the position that they are in now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not fair to them because they're making all this money and they see nothing. So, I think that's what Microsoft's idea was, and maybe that's why they were trying to do it, and a lot of people may not understand or know that. But hopefully one day they'll figure it out, because I think that's why they're doing the subscription-based service, and that's why they do a lot of this free-to-play, so they can make money by offering something free and just giving people what they want cosmetically, with weapons that you may like that look a certain way, or maybe even with something iconic, like, let's say, I don't know, have a Gears of War skin inside Titanfall. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good thing. It's just, I said, it's more growth for the gaming community as a whole. Yeah. But that's my take on it. Yeah.
No, I think I just want to go on to the point of what you were saying about Titanfall 1 and 2 as well. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. I think Titanfall 1 outsold Titanfall 2. Bearing in mind that Titanfall was only on Xbox, Titanfall 2 was obviously over onto PS4 as well. I'm sure that Titanfall 1 outsold Titanfall 2, but I'll have to double check that. But I'm pretty sure that's true. But anyway, thanks for that, Hebot. So we'll have one last topic before we finish today, and I want to talk. There's something that Tom probably won't have a great deal of knowledge on, but he will know the service and he'll know what's what as far as this sort of service goes. So
you don't know if he's not going to know.
He might do.
He might surprise you.
He might surprise me.
Oh God, the pressure.
He normally does surprise me.
Don't let me down, Tom. Don't let me down.
I'll try my best, Terminator.
No, just the last topic I just want to talk about. I want to talk about Microsoft's Game Pass, because as far as I'm concerned, it's probably the best thing that Team Xbox have probably introduced to the Microsoft network and platforms since Xbox Live, in my opinion. I feel that strongly about it for the value of money. I mean, this month alone, we've seen the definitive edition of Tomb Raider put onto the service. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is going on there this month. You've got Crackdown 3 launching on the Game Pass next week, and Batman Return to Arkham on the Game Pass as well. I mean, that service is just phenomenal in my opinion. I think for the $7.99 that we pay in the UK, I think it's a fantastic service. You get the games, you download the games, you're not streaming them. You actually got the games on your drive, and you're getting games at launch that are exclusive to Xbox One on the day of launch on the Game Pass. And I think that is a fantastic service. And, you know, with all the hate that Crackdown 3 has been getting at the moment from all the nayers and the haters out there, I think that game's going to be phenomenal. It doesn't deserve any of the hate. We seem to be in a generation where it's cool to hate things these days. We're even hating on movies before they've even filmed a scene. So we are in a generation of hate, and Crackdown 3 has had some real shit thrown in it. And the fact that that's on the Game Pass day one, there's going to be a lot of people that jump on that game because they've got the Game Pass that would not have necessarily purchased the game. They're going to realize just how good that game is. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the game? I'm going to talk to you first, Tom. I know you haven't got Game Pass on the PlayStation 4, at least as yet. We're not ruling it out. But, I mean, as a service, I mean, we know that PlayStation's got this kind of service, but it is a streaming service. I don't think it's a great service, personally. But you have got something similar. I mean, looking from the outside as a PlayStation gamer, what is your thoughts on the Game Pass and what it gives to the platform as a whole, as a service?
When I look at the Xbox Game Pass, it makes me hang my head in shame that I'm playing on the PlayStation and I'm being offered the PlayStation Now. I mean, the price alone, £7.99 a month, compared to PlayStation Now, £12.99 a month. And the fact that on the PlayStation Now, you're only just streaming, so obviously you could lose a connection at any point. However, Xbox Game Pass, as you just said then, you could download it. So it's actually on your system. I look at that and it's like, oh, God. And then you see the fact that they got a brand new game releasing on it, like, as you just mentioned, Crackdown 3. I don't think that's possible on PlayStation Now. The PlayStation Now, okay, PlayStation whole, there is no backwards compatibility unless you buy a very small selection of PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games on there. And the PlayStation Now, okay, it does offer Red Dead Redemption as an example on the PlayStation 3, but that's practically really it. There is a few other selections on there, which I'm probably not going to list off right now, but you look at Xbox and you look at PlayStation Now, for value of money, I'd be a fool if I say that PlayStation Now is the better service. And the fact that you can get, and another thing which also makes me hang my head in shame is the fact that PlayStation Now offers you 7 days free trial. The Xbox Game Pass gives you a whole month for just £1. I mean, obviously you're going to get longer game time with the Xbox Game Pass, and 7 days is practically nothing in regards of if you're trying to play a long story-based game. I like the Xbox Game Pass. It's got a fantastic amount of games on there. I mean, both do. I'm not going to say the PlayStation Now is just full of garbage. They got a fantastic selection of games on there. But for me, I want to play Xbox Game Pass. And if this next-gen Xbox Scarlet, Anaconda, whatever, and there is just this little stream box thing, because I'm most likely probably going to buy a PlayStation 5, or, well, in fact, I probably shouldn't say that. I'm going to wait to see what the actual reveal is. But if I do end up getting the PlayStation 5, and what I'm trying to say is that if the Xbox Game Pass still delivers like the way it does now, I am going to find some way to get my hands on the Game Pass whenever possible.
Yeah.
It's just the short answer for that is it's much better than PlayStation Now, and I cannot bash it in any way. That's looking from the outside in, though. I haven't actually used it.
Well, no, I mean, I think that's its biggest selling point, is the fact that it's not a streaming service. You do download. I mean, as great as broadband speeds are now across the, the UK, Europe, and America, it's still not good enough, in my opinion, to play these games. I mean, if you can get a delay from just your TV screen that sort of can give you a sort of a hindrance in first-person shooters, and you can, if you haven't got your TV set up correctly, you do get that delay, and just that split-second delay gives people that advantage over you. I mean, what is the advantage going to be on a game that is streaming? You know, I don't think we're anywhere near to the point where we could stream games properly.
No, I agree. It's slim to none. You got no advantage if you're just streaming. For example, using the FPS, the first-person shooter example you just gave then.
Yeah, exactly.
It frustrates me.
Yeah. I mean, we're nowhere near that. And I mean, why they can't offer a similar system to what we've got? I mean, they must be able to, surely. I mean, if Xbox could do it, surely Sony can do it. But it's just the way that they prefer to do things. But yeah, no, I mean, I fully agree with what you said. I mean, I haven't used the PlayStation Now system, but just the whole streaming of the service just is not for me. It's shit, in my opinion, and I'm sure other people agree. I mean, that's
nicely said.
That's what these streaming systems are, are not going to really work. We'll have to wait and see what the new Xbox, the streaming based Xbox, is going to be like. Obviously, they're using their new cloud based system. I'm
very interested in that, by the way.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. It's not going to be for me. I'm going to be going for the top Anaconda, but I mean, it opens it up to other people.
If my financial advisor brackets my wife allows me, I'm going to get both.
Yeah, you've got the same one as me.
Yay!
What about you, Andy? What do you think of what's come on Game Pass recently? Do you subscribe to Game Pass? How are you finding the service? Do you think it's as good as what I think it is?
Yeah.
I do think anybody that says that Game Pass is not worth the money needs to be shot, to be honest.
In the week, I don't know whose Twitter page it was, but somebody said that PS Now is cheaper and has more games than Game Pass, and I'm just like, what? What about? I think I bought some Game Pass off CD keys the other day because I didn't realise that my membership had run out. So I bought 3 months for like £15 just so I could play Crackdown on Friday. I'm actually really looking forward to that. What's great now is that they've added the feature that you can preload it. You don't have to like download it once the game releases at like 12:01 and then download it. They should have done that from the start, really.
Have they introduced that now? I've missed that.
I've had the file on my hard drive now for a good couple of weeks.
Yeah, they introduced that a few months back.
I think it was after. I think they announced it after E3. Or at E3, should I say?
How did I miss that? I didn't know that. So I can download Crackdown 3 now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What it is,
you sure can.
You need to stop getting drunk and downloading shit. Oh no, that's another 5 gone. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I have actually got a cider in the fridge shouting to me at the moment, but I thought I'm not going to do an Andy. I'm not going to get pissed live on a podcast. But
Yeah, but to be honest, I always get pissed towards the end, so it's all right.
You actually do it very well tonight, actually. We've been going a couple of hours and you haven't fallen off your chair yet, so we're doing okay.
No, I can't. But like I've got Tomb Raider already. I bought that last year, and the only thing you can really criticize Game Pass for is them bringing games out after you've bought them. Like, oh great, I've just spent such on Tomb Raider when I could have got it for £7 with Game Pass. Oh, but yeah, I think it's. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what else they put on it. Hopefully, they put Metro Exodus on because they put the other two on. The more developers go to Game Pass, it's just going to be great, isn't it?
And obviously, that's the good thing as well, because obviously the developers are making money out of it. Microsoft are making money out of it. They're making good profits, and we're gaining from it as well. It's not overpriced, but they're still able to make money from it as well. So it's a good thing for developers, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you got people who you know, they do the corporate slave bullshit with figures, and they go, "Oh yeah, but most of those were playing from Game Pass." It's like, are we still talking about figures? It's about how many people are playing now. No one cares about how much money they make because you don't profit from them. That's what I want to see. I want to see more how many people are playing these games, not how many people have bought it. Because I don't care if you've wasted or invested in whatever game.
No. Right, are you finished?
No. And what else is...
I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't see the new Metro appear at some point in the near future on Game Pass. I was half expecting that to be another title. They said, I'll be on it at launch, but I have to keep an eye on that one. I think it won't be too long.
I reckon it will, because do you remember me posting that screenshot of I think it was XO, where they had the Tomb Raider game advertised on a Game Pass board, and then they had Metro on the same and on another one promoting the two games.
That's right. Yes, I do remember now. Yes, I do.
And I said something about this. They went, nah, they won't do that. And like, here we are. Also, they returned to Arkham games are actually Xbox One X enhanced as well.
Enhanced, yes, they are great games. I've finished them on the 360. I have got the collection. I have got the collection on Xbox One, but I haven't finished them yet. I first finished Arkham Asylum. I've still got Arkham City to do, so I've got to go back and do that one. Fantastic games. And let's go to Sherman. We haven't heard the Shermanator for a while. I'm missing his voice. Sherman, what are you thinking about the Game Pass at the moment? Are you still thinking it's a great service, as we all are? So far.
Well, you know, full disclosure, when they first started the Game Pass service, I had my doubts. I wasn't really sure, even though Big Phil had been kind of talking it up for at least a year before it actually kicked in. Because if you guys recall, at specific interviews, he would always, he would drop hints. He kept talking about Netflix for games, and I just was, I was kind of just I was somewhat ambivalent about the whole idea. And even after it debuted, I was kind of, yeah, okay. But then it was Dorian over at the mansion. I don't know. I think we had gotten into we did a private messaging chat about that subject, and I was basically telling him, he was all on board from day one, and I was telling him, oh yeah, well, I wasn't that excited, and he just couldn't understand why, and I kind of put my viewpoint about it to him, and then I think it was the next day, he gifted me 3 months of Game Pass. And he said, you know what? If you try it, your mind will be changed. And so here's 3 months on me. So, if you're going to gift me something, I'd be insane to say, no, thanks. So
hang on, guys. I'm just gonna go and speak to Dorian and tell him that Game Pass is shit.
Oh man, don't you dare. Yeah, so Micro, I think it's official. Andy has hit the sauce. I tried it, and I gotta admit, he was right. I mean, I tried it, and I fell in love with it, and so I've been a fan. And what's interesting, and it's funny because and I don't know if they're contractually obligated to not say anything. But, when it first debuted, Microsoft kept talking about, we're offering you 100 games for 100 games, full access for, X amount a month. That was when it first released. But, now if you do a quick inventory, they're hanging at around just under 200. So they've almost doubled the library for the same price. I mean, how often does that happen? So the value that you get from Game Pass is unprecedented. And again, what's already been mentioned, it makes it a no-brainer. The fact that it's full downloads, no streaming, and they keep adding to the service, and the fact that first-party games are available to all Game Pass members day one. And I don't know if you guys recall, but Phil Spencer mentioned at last year's E3, and he only briefly touched on it. He didn't say it during the actual show. I saw an interview that he did. I think it was with Giant Bomb, because every E3 he always has a extensive sit down with the guys over at Giant Bomb. And if I'm not mistaken, it was with them, and he briefly mentioned that even though of course, one of the main attractions is that every first party game going forward was going to be available on Game Pass day one. He let it slip that they were in talks and that they've already had a few of them agree and that they've signed on. He let it slip that a lot of third party games were eventually going to be available on Game Pass first day that they're released. So when that happens, I don't know, but that's something that we can look forward to. Now maybe it'll be first day, maybe it'll be the first week. Hey, it could even be the first month. I wouldn't mind that. But the bottom line though is the Game Pass, to me, Game Pass, anybody that, I put it like this, anyone, and I was telling some folks when I paid my cell phone bill last month, was talking to some guys about one of the salespeople was talking about he was about to get an Xbox, and because we talk every now and then, and I've told him about the podcast and everything. And so he was like, "Hey, Sherm. So I'm about to go ahead and get a Xbox One X. What do you recommend? What's the first game I should get, or what's the first thing I should do?" So I told him, I said, "Look, the very first thing you need to do." In fact, I told him, I said, "Well, wait a minute. You're getting Xbox One X, so it's already going to be packed in. And so he goes, what? And so I said, you're going to have a trial. You're going to have a free trial of Xbox Game Pass. I said, load that thing up. And then when it's done, go ahead and sign up for it full time. And I told him for well, you know, over here, the average price, unless you catch it on sale, is, you know, $9 a month. So I told him, I'm like, that's the first thing you need to do. The very first thing, because that's easily the very best value in gaming on the planet. You know, and like Thom said earlier, I've got friends that are, you know, PlayStation devotees, and they've even told me, like, look, you know, I'm a PlayStation guy, but I gotta tip my hat to Microsoft. You know, everything I know about Game Pass, I wish Sony had something like that. I mean, I've had people tell me this. My son, he is all about PlayStation. But even he has said, you know what, I'm about ready to just like put my PlayStation in the closet and get my own Xbox, because this, you know, one of the things that I'm loving is the Game Pass. You know, he's like, how can you say no to that? so you know, that's one of the smartest things, you know, not just Phil Spencer, but I think anybody. That's just one of the smartest moves to me in gaming history, on a grand scale, as far as looking out for the consumer, looking out for us as gamers. It's a win-win. You know, I thoroughly enjoy it, especially considering the fact that, you know, if I'm in the mood to try something different, I fire up the Game Pass and I just scroll and scroll and scroll. And like, hey, you know what? I've never tried this game. Let me check it out. And I can download the full game, play it, and if I like it, then I'm like, oh, wow, this is okay. Yeah. But then if I play it and I'm like, nah, this game isn't for me, well, you know what? I'm not out of anything. And then another thing that I really appreciate about Game Pass is the fact that when they remove a game, and I've heard different things about how they come up with the determination of, okay, well, at the end of the month or on such and such date, we're going to take this game out of the library of Game Pass. I've heard different ways they go about making that determination. But the one thing I like is that when they announce that a certain game is going to be removed from Game Pass, they immediately put that game on sale. So the game, you know, I've seen the games 50% off, 60% off the regular price, 70% off. So if you happen to, you know, really be into that game and you've been playing it on Game Pass, and then they decide, well, you know, we're going to remove this out of the library. Well, if you happen to like that game, it's not like, you know, they penalize you for it. Well, okay, if you happen to like this game, well, guess what? We're going to make it available to you for the next couple weeks, 70% off. I mean, I've actually gotten a few games like that. So it's a win-win. It's definitely one of the best values in gaming anywhere.
It does open it up, doesn't it? It does open it up, like you were saying. It opens you up to trying games that you wouldn't normally purchase, and it gives them the opportunity to get their games out there and get attention to that game. And it's done that for a lot of games for me. And there's been games that I've been tempted with, and I'm glad I didn't buy because of Game Pass.
Yeah, that's true too. Exactly, because, you know, look, we all like to talk about the games that you know, we think are good, and you know, that's natural. But let's be honest, you know, there are a lot of games out there that are just straight up doo-doo. So
yeah.
So that's another thing about Game Pass. You know, look, one of the worst feelings in the world, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but it's happened way too many times. You buy a game, you think you're gonna love it, you spent the money ahead of time, and it turns out to be a dud. And now it's like, you know, what am I gonna do? Oh, I'm going to take it to GameStop and then trade it in. And, you know, I paid $60 for the game. GameStop's only going to give me $10 if I'm lucky. You know, they might only give you $6. So, you know, you feel, well, let me make it personal. When that happens to me, I feel totally hosed. So with Game Pass it removes that. You know, it takes that's, you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, I definitely appreciate Phil Spencer's brainchild. I really do. Yeah. Again, like I told the guy at the T-Mobile store, anybody that has an Xbox should have Game Pass. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer service to have, really. And it's the one thing that anybody who jumps on board to an Xbox, it's the first thing you got to buy. I mean, if you've never had it before, your first month, as was mentioned earlier, is £1. You know, for a month of Game Pass. You know, it's a no-brainer.
It's $1. Yeah.
So you get it cheaper than we do. That's disgraceful.
Yeah. First month over here is $1. Yeah. So again, let me just say, thank you, Dorian. You the man.
He is actually. He's a good bloke. He's a good bloke. So let's go over to E-Rock now, buddy. You've been sat there all quiet. You must be piping at the bit. You must be a fan of Game Pass. What's your thoughts on Game Pass?
Man, my thing is this. Look, I'm on Twitter every day, man, seeing people go back and forth about, you know, how Game Pass isn't a big deal, and, you know, talking about PS Now, and every once in a while you have a Nintendo fan, which I call Nintendopes. You have a Nintendo pipe up with his bullshit. And my thing now, my thing now, man, and you know, apologies to our guest tonight, man, because I'm kind of right around the edges. This is why I don't get asked to a lot of podcasts. It is what it is, man. I'm damn near 50. I don't filter myself anymore. It's like this. My thing is, man, when I see them going on about Game Pass or how Game Pass isn't a big deal, I keep quiet. Because my thing is, man, if you want to stay asleep, stay asleep. I'm not going to make you. If you want to stay asleep, man, be my guest, dude. Okay, all right, just like my man Sherm had the story about how Dorian Bumpus, shout out to Dorian Bumpus, because that's my boy D-Rec Gaming over there, man. He's one of the soldiers out here on these Xbox streets. It was Andy Mack, man, my brother from the UK, who I barely knew. You know, Beardy Mac put me down with Game Pass, right? I checked it out, and that was it for me. And that was back when Game Pass. Can you guys still hear me?
We can, mate.
That was back when Game Pass just literally had 100 games. It was truth in advertising, right? So when Phil Spencer and them said that the exclusives was going to be a part of Game Pass day one, I'm like, yo, man, that's just another caveat. See, like me, here's how I roll, all right? I mean, everybody, y'all do your thing, man. Everybody do their thing, dude. You know, you got to do it across the street. He's in the green eggs and ham. Yo, homie, do your green eggs and ham. How I do things in my house is, if you're going to offer me some more, I'm going to get that more. Okay, you're going to offer me a cheaper way to pay my bills, I'm going for that. You're going to offer me more food, I'm like a pirate. Whatever I can get my hands on, man. So when these cats said that for my I get my Xbox Live zapped out of my credit card now. But what I used to normally do, man, when I was doing my thing and hustling, I would pay my $24 for Xbox Live. And for $24 here in the United States, you get 3 months of Xbox Live. So what I told a buddy of mine who's new to Xbox One, he don't want to buy no games. He's not buying no games. He's just not doing it. unless it's a Madden or NBA 2K. That's just how some of the brothers in the hood roll. If they can avoid buying a game, that's what they're going to do. So I said, look, man, seeing how you're a cheap bastard, I'm going to put you down with this. $24 a month, you get you $24 for 3 months, you get you your Xbox Live Gold. Go get you $10, right? Go get you $10, right? I'm gonna put you down with Game Pass. All right. What's that mean? What that means is you'll never have to buy another game again. He's like, well, what do you mean? I said, just do it. He did it. He was like, damn, E. He was like, damn, E. I be seeing your avatar on Forza. Damn, E. This game called Crackdown 3 is in my download queue. Damn, E. This June Shadow of the Tomb Raider just came out, man. That's on there. Damn, E. This thing called Halo. I said, yo, family. What do you think me and Hebot and Dorian Bumpus and all of us Xbots and corporate slaves been trying to tell y'all fools for the last year? Like who don't want more? I mean, that's a game changer to me. And I'd have had all the consoles, bro. I'd have had PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, and 64, Dreamcast, Atari, Sega Genesis, Sega 32X. All right. So you want to come and have a conversation about value and gaming to me, we can have that conversation. But hasn't nobody ever came at me and said, look, dude, for 10, you got an internet connection? Do you got like a phone jack in your house? Well, if you got those two things, for $10 a month, we gonna give you our library of games plus your exclusives are now free. What? Look, do whatever you want. If you in love with that blue box from Japan, that's your thing. Hey, man, I love you. God bless you. Love, peace, and hair grease. If you like mobile, that's your thing, dude. Do it. God bless you. But me, for $10 a month, like when do Crackdown pop out here? When do Crackdown pop? Friday.
Yeah,
15th.
All right. As y'all mentioned earlier, I didn't have that thing downloaded 2 weeks ago. I'm just waiting for it to drop. And when Halo 6 drop and Gears of War 5, the next Gears of War drop, I believe they drop it. Look, dude, it's a no-brainer, man. If you're a gamer, it's a no-brainer. Like you can go on Twitter and on these Facebook groups and listen to all of these fools talking all of this stuff. Xbox sucks, Crackdown gonna suck, all of that stuff. That may be so, but I'm having a hell of a time sucking. So there it is. I'm having a problem here sucking. I don't know about y'all.
You're just a total sucker. That's what you are.
Filthy mouth.
Oh no!
This the most fun I had losing in my life. This is dope.
that'll be on your obituary. That will.
It was a good.
It's so filthy.
Hey, he about we losing. Right, getting all these free games. We went to console. I ain't never been treated this good in my life being a loser.
You ain't lying about that.
They go, well, you got on Game Pass, you cheapskate. It's like, who's the dumbass? I got it cheaper than you paid for it.
Homie, does that answer your question?
Wow.
Yeah. Do you know what, Iraq? It does. And I find out you're a good sucker as well. So I'll give you a
wow. Well said.
News just in.
Somebody just came out the closet. Holy crap.
Hey, He-Bot, if losing is wrong, I don't want to win. Shit.
We can take the game. It's rules.
Oh, man.
Oh, I love losing. It's awesome.
Oh, wow. That's too funny.
Man, you got me in tears over here, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
You get called an ex-loser.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ex-loser for Game Pass.
X-Bot, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of things I can't say here.
Oh my god! What about you, Hebot? You piping up there. I noticed you piped up after Enoch said he was a good sucker, but
I'm supposed to compete after all those great response. Oh my Jesus! No. I'm How much time we got? How much time we got? Oh, well, look. First and foremost, I want to give a very big round of applause and hat tip to our guest, Thomas, because he said he's a PlayStation advocate and a PlayStation fan.
Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, I mean that very thoroughly. I mean that from the heart. Because look, you're a PlayStation fan, but you're a PlayStation fan that is a true fan of the
yes.
And the reason why I say that is because you have the recognition and the intelligence to understand when something should be done better, and especially since they were the ones that kind of introduced this first. And even though they introduced this first, they're still so far behind in so many ways. You understand? Okay. But you did it with respect to your brand, right? Because you didn't dog them, but you did it respecting gaming as a whole and other gamers.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So big round of applause to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of PlayStation fans, unfortunately, not like Thomas, don't have that respect, that class, and that type of mindset to speak with intelligence and love to their brand and gaming, right? Everything is, you're a fanboy if you don't like PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's first and foremost, Thomas. I'm so glad that you were able to join us here today.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. All the way, my pleasure. Thank you ever so much for having me again.
No, I hope you can come again. And you're more than welcome. I'm pretty sure the guys feel like I do because I really enjoy your company. So here's to appreciate Game Pass, you have to understand Game Pass, right? Because I'm like Sherman. When I first heard it, I was like, and probably like a lot of us, Game Pass was created not for the hardcore, which would be us, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We are the hardcore, right? We buy what we like, we support what we like, no matter what, right? No matter what. And so when we saw this, it's never been done before in this fashion. And I'll get to that why I say that, because PlayStation Now did come out first, is because we're already of the mindset of we got to buy it to support so the games can have enough success to continue on, right? But that's one of the things that Microsoft has always been known to do. They're like the new Sega of this generation. They always knew how to evolve at the right time before everyone else, and always were one step ahead of everybody else. Not to say that other companies don't do good things, because they do, but they always seem to fall short when you compare them to Microsoft, right? And I'll tell you why. PlayStation Now, I'm a PlayStation owner. Not only did it start first, but it was extremely expensive. I don't know if it was because at the time there was no competitor, or because it was just something that was really expensive to offer and they had to make money. And I'm pretty sure Thomas could advocate for me because he's a PlayStation owner. It was more expensive. And obviously with the competition now being there, they had to bring it down, because I think for the whole year it used to be like 230, maybe 250, something like that. Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, yeah, you're correct.
Right. And you would think, right, as a fan, because again, I am a PlayStation owner. I own every game on PlayStation that is exclusive and that I feel is worth the time of day. You expect for them to, like, make it better. And it seems like Sony doesn't listen to their fan base that loves them and protects them and takes care of them until they see somebody else like Microsoft do something. You see what I'm trying to say? Or Nintendo. And I don't understand why they do that. I don't know if it's arrogance or if they just think that they don't need to because they're the leaders of the industry as far as sales and stuff like that. I don't know what it is, but that's kind of been their mantra the entire time. The thing with Game Pass, though, is when you compare it to PlayStation, not only is it more expensive, even though now it's a lot more affordable and more reasonable price, is that the library that it had was very limited. It was a lot of older PlayStation 2 games and a lot of older PS3 games, and now they started putting PS4 games. And the thing is now they have it where you can stream instead of streaming them. That was another part. Unless you had a very good connection where you were at, the streaming wouldn't work really well, even though it was low latency or low millipedes, for the speed, right? But it wouldn't work right for a lot of people. Me, it worked horrible when we had it. So that's why I didn't keep renewing it. But for some people, it works really well. And now they decided to put games, that are actually on a server that you actually just play off somewhere that they have on a server that's already downloaded there, like Microsoft is with theirs. All the games are on a server. You don't have to stream them. It's already there. You just play them. But it's only the PS4 games. And I know a lot of it has to do with the architecture design of PS3 and PS2. I'm pretty sure, even PS1, because they were always different from each other. They always differentiated from each other a whole lot. Now, when it comes to Xbox OG, it was x86 like the Xbox One is now. You know what I mean? And with the 360, they managed to program it where now it reads 360 off the 360 servers. That's basically how it works. But not only that, they're giving you the backwards compat. They're giving you the enhanced 4K stuff for free. The backwards compat is for free. The exclusives now, day and date. And even though people say, oh, their games are there, there's no point. That's not true because you still have games like Local Psycho, Max, Crimson Dragon, Connect Sports Rivals, even Killer Instincts, because it's a free-to-play. But in order you to get the whole game, you have to buy the whole game. They're not on Game Pass. So you still have games that you have to buy in order to get access to them. You see? But the beauty of Game Pass is it was created for the broad market, which was the casual market, to bring in more people, especially people that, maybe can't afford to buy stuff all the time because they're not economically stable, like maybe some of us may be, right? Or have the fortune to be economically stable, right? For somebody like me, it works wonders because I have a lot of kids. I really don't have a lot of money, but I have a lot of children. I have a big family, and it helps, because if a game comes out like Crackdown 3 is in another 5 days, for example, then guess what? I don't have to worry about buying it that first day. I can try it on Game Pass. And then later down the line, if I want to still buy it, guess what? I still can buy it. And not only can I buy it, if I buy it through Game Pass, they give you like a 25% discount or something like that. So I still can buy it at a better cost than the full price. And this money goes directly to the developers, right? And to Microsoft, whoever has feedback, because you're cutting off the having to distribute it, overseas. You're cutting off the having to distribute, pay for international fees, shipping fees, storage fees, wall fees for having it on the wall in the stores like GameStop and Target, and all those things that you see, right? Because all that stuff you have to pay for. And the more you have people you have to pay, obviously, common sense, the least percentage goes to everybody. That's the developers included, which should be the ones getting the most, right? And I think that was Microsoft's idea behind the whole thing. Because now, even in places where maybe they don't have very good internet, let's say, where they can't always download games, if they want to buy them only digitally, guess what? They can just play it through the Game Pass, and it works because it's on the server, right? It's another option. Then that mother or those grandparents that raise their grandkids, or that mother that raised their kids on their own, or that father that raised their kids on their own, because maybe their other parent or loved one passed away, or haven't been able to broaden their economic stature because they had to dedicate themselves to being a full-time parent and couldn't go back to school and get a better education and get more money. Now they can also give their children the same experience and gift that all these other kids that may be more fortunate can have. Okay? And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, yeah, well, you guys are just cheapskates. Yeah, it may sound that way. But again, this is not just for us. This wasn't made for the hardcore gamer. This was made for the casual market, to broaden the market. Like Sherman was saying, the first thing I saw when they put Rise Son of Rome on Game Pass was a bunch of people tweeting out, oh my God, I never played Rise Son of Rome. No wonder you guys kept talking about this game. This game is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing. It's the same thing I saw when they put Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, man.
Game Pass has become
Sunset Overdrive. Let me just say this, Ebot, real quick. Sunset Overdrive, the Spider-Man prototype.
Well, it's a very good point because see, Game Pass is not only for the people that to give you more accessibility to games with ease. It's become a museum of games to continue to live on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because all those games that we would see that I don't know if that you see, let's say an indie game, because remember everything's self-published now. You don't need a publisher on Xbox Live or PlayStation. That's why Game Pass for those independent developers is amazing, because if they can't get a publisher, if they don't have a lot of money, they can make a deal with Microsoft, even if it's just for 6 months to have the game on Game Pass. And for 6 months, they can have people discover their games that will not go out and pay it on day one because the game's, let's say, $40 because they had no choice but to put it at a high price because they spent so much money and they're trying to make money back. And the people look at the game like, oh, I don't know if that game's worth $40. I don't know about that. So you know what? When they try it on Game Pass, if they love the games, bing, they go buy the game. Because you're not going to keep paying $10 a month just to play that game. You're going to buy it, and you're still going to build your library.
Yeah.
With the access of having availability to a bunch of other new games. Right now, Dead Rising 3 is no longer on Game Pass. It's an exclusive to Xbox. It's been given out free. It's been given out discounted, but now it's not there no more. So guess what, people? You still got to go buy it if you're a first-time comer to Xbox. The same way Game Pass is for those people for the like let's say Thomas, for example, right? What he said that if Game Pass continues to grow as well as it has, he has no second doubts that next generation you'll buy an Xbox.
Damn right.
Right, exactly. Because you like what you're getting and you know the value's there. Same thing for a lot of people. Like, oh, well, Xbox games suck, and I'm not talking about you, Thomas. Okay,
no, that's fine. That's fine. I know the type of people you are.
You know what I'm talking about? That say something's bad without even trying it.
Hey, there's only one person here that sucks. E-Rock.
Oh Jesus! Okay, I'm trying to hurry up because I'm pressed for time here. But to get to my point, you stupid Andy. You know. There's going to be those people that come in for the very first time that maybe were an Xbox doubter or Xbox hater, or maybe a Xbox person that gave up on Xbox after 360, because we have some of those for whatever reason it was. That when they come to the console, they don't feel the obligation. I got to go buy all these exclusives now. You see what I'm trying to say? No. Mm-hmm. Now they can just pay $10, right? Because it's just $10, and they can try all the exclusives they want. And guess what, people? If all the exclusives they have they like, they will buy all the exclusives because they're cheap. Quantum Break, you can get it for damn near $8, brand new. Sunset Overdrive, you can get for $6, brand new in GameStop. Okay? So, or even from the digital store, you can get it for like $10, $15. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's for those people as well. So GameStop is not to hurt the industry. GameStop is to continue games that otherwise would not be appreciated, overlooked, respected, or given a fair chance to have a second wind and second chance and second opportunity to live on and find a new, broader audience to perhaps make the game grow even more with the second audience coming in to guess what? Now we can probably get a Rise 2 for sure. Now we can get a Sunset Overdrive 2 for sure. And I'm naming those because those are Xbox exclusives, obviously. Yeah, they're on PC. But if you're playing on PC, you're not going to care about what we're talking about. We're console gamers, right? So the point is, those games will live on. And now you have a better opportunity for those developers to consider a sequel. And not only will they consider a sequel, the developers are going to get more of that. They won't have no more diminished returns. In other words, their games won't sell. Why do you think that PlayStation, once they see a game slow down in sales, example, Uncharted 4, right? And Spider-Man, they plateau. The first thing they do, what do they do that following holiday? Boom! They bundle it in with the consoles. Even though it's a physical copy, they're taking it at a loss. They're giving them out for free, but it still brings a bigger audience. So when they finish selling them, then they say, look what they said. Spider-Man has 9 million people, and the last numbers they said was 9.3, was 3.3, because now those people that bought those consoles with the bundles got a copy of Spider-Man, are playing Spider-Man, and are playing for DLC, so they're making money off the games. You see what I'm saying? And that is the whole idea. The difference is with Game Pass, you're getting it at a fraction of a cost day one without having to feel forced to go and support right away. You do it at your own leisure, convenience, or statured economically, right? And that is what's the beauty of Game Pass. So to understand Game Pass or to appreciate Game Pass, you have to understand it. And for all those who say it's not good, that it doesn't give you value when you're getting things, like I said, day one release exclusives, backwards compatibility for free on all 3 console generations, free 4K updates, because when you get Crackdown 3, you get it with the 4K update. When you get Red Dead Redemption, you get it with the 4K update. When you get Ninja Gaiden on OG, you get it with the 4K update. So not only are you playing them for free, you're playing them at the best performance and visual quality that they ever been on a console. You see? So it's a no-brainer. And, you know, Phil said it. As soon as they put it on Game Pass, they've seen a bunch of games have growth in sales because people will go try it, play it, a game that you would not try and would not think of buying, and then they end up liking it and buy it. So Game Pass, I think, is a godsend. I think that PlayStation and Sony now have no other ultimatum but to try to do something similar or try to match up with the same type of quality and content with their next consoles, because if they don't, I honestly think they're going to put their own shoe in their own mouth, in other words, right? For lack of a better term. I really think it's going to work in their favor and anybody else that follows suit, because we still, as hardcore gamers, will buy the games. We're going to support them. That's in our nature as gamers. But for those coming in, it's an attractive incentive. There's no way you can't say, I'm not attracted to that. You see what I'm saying? You buy a PlayStation 4, you got to buy games separately. Whether they're 30, 20, 40, whatever, 60, if they're new still, you don't have an option like Game Pass. I mean, PSN now, but again, most of the libraries there are mainly old, with the exception of Knack, Bloodborne, Killzone, that are in there, but there's older titles, right? And eventually you'll see Uncharted 4 and Spider-Man and God of War, but it'll be probably 2-3 years from now when the game is already old. You see what I'm saying? With Game Pass is exclusives, day one, Forza. Are you kidding me? You see what I'm saying? And that's the difference. That's the difference. That's why we all say it's value and it's better than what Sony's offering or anybody else like Nintendo. That's my point from the Game Pass.
You only have to look at how well Sea of Thieves did, don't you? I mean, when Sea of Thieves was released, and everybody was saying, well, if it's on Game Pass on day one, it's not going to sell very well. And it's going to be a flop. Right. It was extremely successful on Game Pass, but it had extraordinary sales numbers as well. It did extremely well.
Because Game Pass made people buy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
They liked it so much, they wanted the game, so they didn't have to keep renewing.
Exactly.
Game Pass.
I mean, I renew my Game Pass. I've got 6 months on there at the moment, but I still purchased Sea of Thieves because it was such a good game and it was worthy of supporting. If the game is that good, you need to support it.
Absolutely. And you will. Right. You will. As a gamer, you will. It's also, Thomas, I don't know if you may know, the other thing, too, Game Pass, they gave you like a year's worth for like, I think it was like $40 at one point. They had some crazy deal that you got a whole year for like a fraction or a quarter of the cost. Who's going to say no to that? You're crazy. There's no way.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I know it was a mouthful, sorry, but that's what I
No, that's perfectly fine. So I think everybody that's listening to us, we can take everything that we've said, and we all think the Xbox Game Pass is worth the money.
Yeah,
I wasn't a believer, but I turned into one. I definitely did. Because now I understand Game Pass.
It is worth the money, but when you're buying 3 months like Dorian does for everybody else, it probably takes the piss, doesn't
it? Oh, man.
Throwing the shade. Somebody
yeah. I think we have a hater in our midst.
I'm just hating on you that you got 3 months.
You can
like this week I gave 3 months away for someone's birthday. I was like, Fuck.
Nice.
Nice. The thing is, I mean, we're saying $7.99, but I mean, you can get it cheaper. I mean, I bought 2 lots of 3 months membership off Amazon because they were doing them at half price.
Yeah.
So I just bought 2 of them and stacked it up. So you can get it much cheaper. So it's definitely worth the money.
Another thing about Game Pass and like the offers they have, like the 1 month Game Pass now. I got one this week for playing or installing the Division 2.
Yes.
And they go, have a free month of Game Pass, but it's only for new customers. Yeah. Now, I've tweeted some of the top people at Xbox this week, and I says, if we can't get this 3 months of Game Pass that you're basically giving us for free, why can't you turn it into reward points so then we can put it towards a voucher?
Right.
To get Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because there's no point giving people a free month when they can't use it.
Well, I think the idea behind that, Andy, and you have a great point, but I think the idea behind that is because if they continue to let people to do that, then they'll figure out ways to keep getting free months and won't pay for it. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I couldn't use it, so I put something on Twitter. I said I've got a 3 month Game Pass for new users. Anyone wants it, first come, first serve.
Right.
Within
that
a day.
That was very nice of you.
Well, and within a day, somebody came along and he says, "I'll have it," and I just went, "It's yours." Nice. I'll send it you via DM. He didn't have his DM working, so I had to message him again. It took about 2 hours for him to get his DMs working again, but I gave it to him. I said, let me know if it works. It did. And it's like, yeah, that's my good deed of the day done. You know, but I can't keep doing
a lot of good deed, Andy. You do a lot. You don't give yourself enough credit.
Yeah.
Andy Mack, ladies and gentlemen, gave me a beautiful Sea of Thieves controller when it was sold out everywhere, and I couldn't find it. He sent it to me all the way from the UK, courtesy of my brother, Andy Mack. Yes, he did.
What?
It is in my shrine of controllers right now. It's in my shrine.
And that's
I will never touch the controller. It is a
man. That is a sweet controller.
Oh, beautiful! One of the best ones.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually going to start tweeting Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right, I'm going to say, do you know what? That speech you made at that university, right? I've implied some of that in my mentality towards others, and I just think you're a dick now. You fuck off, Arnold.
Oh man!
I must say, actually, whilst we've been chatting about it, I just went on the beauty of Xbox. I just went on my phone and went on the Xbox Guide app and pre-installed Crackdown 3 on Game Pass on my phone.
Yes.
So that's how easy it is.
Yes, it is. It's ready to go.
Anyway, gents, I'm afraid that is all we've got time for tonight. Can you believe it or not? We've been on for over 2.5 hours, nearly.
Nice.
No, we have. Nearly
and I still haven't drank my first glass of rum.
I know, and I need to get downstairs.
Well, that's what happens when you get a group of intelligent and good lads together to speak about something they love. It's gonna happen.
That went by quick.
Definitely, always.
All we need is the bar and the alcohol. That's it.
We've got 5 guys and 1 sucker.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
You're out, get him.
I tell you what, he's such a sucker. He bought Kingdom Hearts 3 after hating Disney. Oh, I've got it
in. Low blow.
Come on, Rock. You can't let that go.
To be fair, he said it since day one. He's always loved Kingdom Hearts, even though he hates Disney. He was very adamant about that.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get that memo.
It is a fun game, though. It is a fun game. All I will say about it, though, is it's got very clumsy dialogue. Sometimes the dialogue seems very awkward, but that's what happens with that type of game, I think. But good game, though. Good fun. But anyway, that's all we've got time for. We've got to go because I've got to go and have a cider. Andy Mack's still sober. It's all going Pete Tong. But it's been an absolutely great show. Thank you to everybody that's been watching and taking part in the chat. The live chat's been absolute fire. Everybody's been on there chatting away. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate everybody that takes the time to come and listen to what is tonight six middle-aged blokes chatting about games. We can't thank you enough. Tom's not quite middle-aged yet. I think he's still a young.
I'm 23, surprisingly.
Oh
Beautiful,
my God.
beautiful, Tom.
You're just a baby.
I'm the baby of the bunch.
I wish I was
Three.
23. I envy you so much right now.
Can you look, guys? Let's put this into perspective. When we were 23, can you remember what the games were like that we were playing at 23?
Oh Jesus, I could definitely.
Right? And look at where they are now. So imagine what Tom's going to be seeing in his generation.
Exactly.
Hey, Tom, do yourself a favor. Get out now while there's still time.
It's a free slope. Look at us three.
Getting the hangover and getting rid of it in an hour. I missed it.
That's great.
Oh my God. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure. Before we go, give everybody a shout out. I want to say a big thank you to Thom Wilde for joining us from Respawn Gaming. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, buddy. You will be on again. Even as you're a predominant PlayStation gamer, you've been involved, you've been in the chat, and we've just talked games. We haven't been talking any of the bollocks you see everywhere else. It's just a gaming podcast that just so happens to be predominantly Xbox. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, buddy. So we will have you on again, and maybe we'll get you and Mark on as well. That would be a good crack. Get the Respawn Gaming guys on as a duo. We'll have a big one. Don't mention that to E-Rock, though. He might want to suck it.
Getting at you, E. Get it.
Unbelievable.
E-Rock, and I'm surprised that Andy hasn't said this, but the way to shut that down, the next time somebody says that to you from our group, all you got to do is just say, "That's what she said."
Oh my God. Anyway, Tom, give yourself a shout out, buddy. Let everybody know where they can find Respawn Gaming, where they can find your podcasts, and where they can follow you on Twitter and YouTube.
Oh, thank you very much. And just simply type in Respawn Gaming. We'll come up with our channel. It's pretty much just that. It's half me, half Mark. He mostly covers all the news. I like to do the gameplay type of thing. I'm on Twitter at TWild1995, and the Respawn Twitter account itself is RESP Gaming, and we even have our own podcast page. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, Castbox, all those usual stuff. It's the Respawn Gaming podcast. It's pretty much same setup as this, which is our big shows, which next week, which Microbox and Andy Mack are actually guests on, and I would love to get everyone else part of this panel on there as well. We're also available on there. There's also other podcast shows on there. So if you would be so kind, check us out or hit me up. Just follow me on Twitter. I appreciate that. But no, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. And I wish I can come back again. I've had a blast.
It's been awesome, mate. Been awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks for having you on. The pleasure is ours. The pleasure is ours.
Yes.
So we must pass it on now to our Mr. Cool, the cool man, the Shuminator.
Hang on. Before you do that.
Oh,
here we go.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Oh, it's supposed to keep looping in the background, but that's okay. Thank you, Andy. I first of all just want to say, just to echo what Micro has been saying. Thomas, we really, really, really appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to hang out with, as was already stated, a bunch of middle-aged gamers. I was going to say pro gamers, but no, I'll go with that. A bunch of middle-aged pro gamers. So we really appreciate you hanging with us. And, I just got to say, and I don't know how this is going to sound, so I'm just going to put it out there. I wish that every diehard PlayStation gamer had your attitude, because you have an open mind, and you're not you don't come across as being a know-it-all and having an attitude. each and every one of us here have encountered that type of personality, and it's tiring. So you represent, let me put it like this, you Thomas, represent the PlayStation community the way it should be represented. And I tip my hat to you, sir. Anytime, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure I speak for the rest of the fellas here.
Yes.
Anytime you want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome.
Yes.
I really, really, really appreciate you being here. Some would say you were walking into the lion's den, but I'm sure you've probably discovered that that's not the case. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about enjoying our favorite hobby, and it just happens to be video games. So I really appreciate you having the attitude that you have, and hanging out with us. Again, I tip my hat. Everybody,
say that has made a tear appear in my eye. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Look, I'm very serious about that, and it's not just me. All of us here, any one of us could have said what I just said, and it would be the 100% truth. You seriously, Yoshida could take a lesson from you. I'll put it like that.
Wow.
So just keep doing what you're doing and continue with the attitude that you have. And not only will you do the PlayStation community a world of good, but you would do the gaming community as a whole a world of good. We need more people like you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nicely said, Sherman.
But let me get my shout outs in, and then I'll pass the mic. I can be just want to say, and I've already said it, but to everybody over at the DX Mansion, thank you again, Dorian. You did me a world of good. Everybody at the DX Mansion, shout out to them. Everybody at Roscoe's Video Arcade, shout out to them. Of course, everybody at Project Xbox, shout out to them. I can be found on Xbox Live. My handle is TechnoFunk, TechnoFungk. That's my, and of course, you can find me on Facebook. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Sherman.
Pass the mic.
You're a good man. You're a good man, and a smooth, cool man as well. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to do the most powerful gamer and the most abused gamer as well, because there's nobody gets more shit than my friend Hebot on Twitter. Nobody at all. Thanks for being on the show again, Hebot. It's always a pleasure having you on this team. It really is. And anybody who gives you any shit, just send them my way, and I'll sort them out, buddy, because they are dicks.
Yeah, really, that always means a whole lot to me. Like I tell you guys, no, it is what it is. That's why I said what I said to Sherman. I mean to Thomas. Excuse me, because the difference between Thomas is you know right off the hand that Thomas is a fan of Sony. What Sony has delivered to him and given him as far as enjoying video games, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And Thomas is not here, and I'm pretty sure he probably carries himself that way everywhere he is, hating on others because they like another platform. And that's the way it should be. And the reason why I get a lot of hate is because I get a lot of people from the PlayStation community that just thinks that because I scrutinize Sony for the things I think they should fix, that I'm hating when I own the platform and all the games on it. So it's not like that at all. It's just I respect what Microsoft has done more because they've shown that they respect the community more and their gamers and their fans. Something simple like like name changing, that they finally gave it to their fans, and now they're like, oh yeah, but it comes with a risk. Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? That's not consumer friendly, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure Thom feels the same way about.
Oh, of course.
You know, it shouldn't be like that, especially since you've invested so many years with a company you love and you've supported them and bought their product, and you still do it to this day. And all they can say to you is, "Well, here, this is the best we can do," and it kind of feels like almost like an indeliberate smack in the face, right? So that's where I come in. That's how I try to talk about Sony or scrutinize them, not as a hater, but as I want them to respect their fans, because I've bought their product, I own their product till this day. I give them support, and they just do a lot of things that are not fan friendly or consumer friendly, in my opinion, and that's why I try to explain it to educate, not to throw hate, because we're gamers at the end of the day. I don't care what you play, as long as you're happy. I don't care. It's just be real, It's like when Microsoft, they need to fix the situation now with free-to-plays, that you need Xbox Live to play free-to-plays, but you don't need that on PlayStation, even though they don't have, the security on the online or the servers or the second step authentication, but still, it should be free-to-play no matter what. If it's free, it should not be in the paywall under, Xbox Live. And they need to try to find a way to fix it because it's wrong. Things like that, So, yeah, Thomas, thank you for joining us, guys. It's me, Hebot, the most powerful gamer. That's my label. Not trying to say I'm better than everyone else and take it literal. Some people do. It's just I'm a big He-Man fan and Xbox, and that's why my name is Hebot. Thank you for Master Chief for giving me that idea. Big shout outs to him. And I'm on Twitter, same thing. On YouTube, same thing. On Xbox Live, same thing. The only difference is I have a space with an 8 for my 8 children. So it's Hebot dash or space 8. You're more than welcome to add me on, whoever is listening. As long as you're respectful, I don't, I'm good. If you're going to be a troll, I don't even waste my time. And on PlayStation, it's Alpha from Sky for the Alpha alien from back in the early 80s.
That's an awesome show.
Alpha from Sky. So, Thomas, you're more than welcome to add me on if you'd like to.
Oh, don't you worry, I will.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been a fantastic time talking again, venting and talking about what we love. Like always, I can't wait to the next show.
Awesome. Cheers, Hebot. And I'm going to go to my old friend E-Rock X now. That's what I love about doing this podcast, is I get to do it with so many great friends, and E-Rock's been there pretty much from the start when I started my first channel 4 years ago. So it's great to have him as a permanent member on the panel. But over to you, E-Rock. I'm spooning off again.
Hey, man, it's been great to be here this week. I had a blast. Thanks again, guys. I want to let the audience know thanks for stopping by. There's plenty of great games out this month, man. This has been the most stacked February ever, man. You got Apex, you got Anthem, you got Crackdown, you got Jump Force. I mean, you pick a game, Kingdom Hearts. So go out there, man. Resident Evil 2, you got plenty of games. There's no reason for anybody to be on Twitter trolling for 72 hours when we got games out there. So go out there, enjoy some gaming. Check me out on Twitter. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out all of these guys. Thanks to our guest, Thomas, for showing up. Check out his YouTube channel, his collaborations, man. He's a fine, upstanding, and honorable PlayStation fan, which means he won't be around for much longer. So go check him out now. Some here, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
As always, it's done in style, E-Rock, as always. And here we go. It's the beard with legs now. Oh my god. How are we doing tonight?
The newest member to the Latino community.
Do we need to get a pillow? Or are you drunk now? Are we going to be like
no, I'm not drunk tonight. I have been looking through the chat tonight quite more religiously than normal. But yeah, Tom, it's been great to hang out with you in the podcast. Look forward to next week.
No, I know.
Yeah, that's this week's MicroPod. Yeah, and that's it.
Is that it? Is it after the monologue we got last time? That is what we've got this time.
Oh, and just a few words of encouragement for next week. Don't be a sucker.
Really?
All I want to know is this new picture you've got. Where are your knees? Are they under the beard, or have you just not got any?
This new picture I've got, I want to know is where the fuck's my torso?
Well, at least they got the penis correct, anyway.
Oh,
really?
Didn't you just say that you like doing this show with real good friends? and no UK Dazris, they're not chicken legs, because I do calf exercises at the gym. Whoop whoop.
I've heard about that place, the gym. What is it? I keep hearing people saying about this gym, and I'm just like, what is it?
Do you really want me to reread what I sent you in that text message?
Do you what? You sent me a text message?
Yeah, early today when you asked me the same question.
And what did you say in the text message?
I said, right, in my poshest writing ever, I said, it's where fat fucks go to perv on women and people like me to keep in shape. Ha ha ha.
I do running every night, mate, on Battlefield.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't need a gym.
Where is this gym at? The first line sounds exciting to me. The hell with working out.
I know, I'm good because I wanted to get fat first.
I just don't get it. I don't get the fascination of going to a gym. I spend all night running on Battlefield 5, Call of Duty. I get more than enough exercise. I don't need to go to a gym, and that's all I'm saying about it.
Well,
and I'm
like
a fine fettle. Anyway, that is it. That is the MicroPod number 17 over and finished with. We are done. We freed you from having to listen to us droning on. It's been a great show. Had a great laugh. Again, thanks to Thom for being on the show. We'll definitely be having him on again. It's just been awesome. Thank you very much, guys. And we do appreciate all the likes, comments, and everybody else. And again, I do apologize for not being more active in the chat. I'm an absolute nightmare for keeping people say things to me in the actual podcast, and I'm too busy reading a comment and I completely miss what's happening. So I have to concentrate on the one or the other. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. We will see you in 2 weeks' time, and I will just check the date. That will be the 23rd. We will be back that day. I will not be having internet issues. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Peace.
Have a good night, guys. Peace.